really kind of felt a little Genshin-y to me.
Mm-hmm.
But the beginning where you wash up wherever, I'm not going to say anything too crazy for spoilers. I think the ending was great. But overall, I thought the story was good. Like, I think I said in my video, like, story-wise, probably like a 7.5, right? But the storytelling of it, I thought was great. Like, the storytelling was probably my favorite of a gacha game. So that's why I think it's like a 9. And the world also enhaences it. So,
wait, are we not talking about spoilers really quick?
Oh, no, yeah, we can absolutely talk about spoilers.
Okay, yeah,
so we are talking about spoilers. Okay, so we are.
That old man shit was...
Chat, spoilers. So there we go.
Nah, that old man shit wasn't it. I'm sorry. Everything else I thought was fine, but that guy was really frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh, the old man. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like in Act 3.
It's called Bardolino, I think he's called.
Yes.
The green guy. Yeah.
You remember his name?
The old laureate.
Okay,
yeah.
I actually thought it was pretty funny. It was like it didn't feel like that drawn out to me, and it gave a lot of important world building for like why that dynamic is even in the first place, right? Like why there's even another faction in the area. And it created like that richness, right? Because he was a laureate, or he is a laureate, right? Somebody who was literally gifted and recognized by the Sentinel, and even those people are, kind of branded as outcasts. Right.
I went back to actually check how long he was on the screen for. It was only 10 minutes or 12 minutes. Like it wasn't
like
that long,
Are you sure?
But it felt longer.
No,
I checked the time it took.
Of being drawn out.
Yeah.
I think it felt like it was on the verge of being drawn out. I agree, actually. I did. It was okay. Like it wasn't like the best part of it for sure. Like because like Act 3 has like so many really good stuff in it. It's like a blemish on it, but it's not like that bad.
No,
like,
for sure.
The reason why it felt so long is because it stood out as the one part that wasn't as good as the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's why it felt longer, because it just stood out so completely differently.
Yeah. I gotta clarify that it was only 12 minutes that he was actually talking.
The only
the
only other like yap, if you want to call it that, which I didn't feel like it was literally Zani introducing you to Raguna, like the city. That is it, and that didn't.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all.
I do actually want to touch on that. That is actually one of the questions. Like going from Act 1 with the introduction to Zani. Like, how do you feel about that pacing? Because I saw some people think that Act 1 was actually kind of long. People like love the interactions of being a bit more slow going through the city. How did you find that, your introduction to Renacita?
I didn't think it was bad at all. I think I can see why people thought it might have been a little bit slow and draggy, but I think the way they sort of presented it, it was a good introduction. They gave you like a massive tour around the city. You got to know these different characters. You got to know different echoes that were residing in the city of Raguna. Some of the NPCs that you meet that I thought look like 4-star equivalent, like the pizza girl. Like
Margarita.
Like, that's it, Margarita, right?
Sure,
so like there's a lot of
that
these,
like apothecary lady.
Yeah, like there's so many of these characters.
Yeah.
There's so many of these characters that we get introduced to. It's like a massive tour of if you need anything, this way you go. Like and because of the way that they angle their cameras and because of the way they direct these scenes, it doesn't feel too static. It feels alive. And and I didn't think Act 1 felt that long at all. And I thought the dialogue was good, the voice acting was good. I can see why people think that, but I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Nah, those people are crazy.
We got to remember this is Act 1 as well.
Like, it's an introduction to the area.
It's supposed to introduce you to the area. It's not like a whole thing of like, there should be a massive fight scene right here. Of course not. It's
no.
But
also at the same time, they can't. People shouldn't really be saying that anyway, because we literally started off in the middle of the ocean and got attacked by the Marwile, and then got saved by bloody Bron. And then there was
in Act 1.
It started off with a cutscene.
Yeah, so
technically that's a prologue, but yeah.
Is that the prologue? But still, like the start of the update introducing us. It was pretty action packed. It was pretty, So getting like introduced and used to the city is perfect introduction. We weren't just standing there talking for like half an hour. That we were going around everywhere. It was great.
One thing that was amazing about the start, even like the prologue in particular, before you even get to Renacita as a whole or Raguna, was seeing that one guy. I think his name was like fucking Alfredo or something.
Oh, Christopher.
Yeah.
Oh, like the guy who got vanished?
Yes.
Exiled, right? And he gets turned into a pilgrim.
That was so powerful, actually.
That was good. That was good.
Dead, right? And then we see him again with like Bran and stuff. And then they, obviously that is sort of like what links us to.
Cool.
It's really good. Really good.
I do like actually.
Prologue. I think prologue in Act 1 it just sets the stage, and it's like a very streamlined, very like it's a very, very like well engineered sort of like intro sequence to the world of Renacida. Ragusa is a beautiful city. It's it felt like a AAA game. Like, I guess bringing that discussion up, but it was a really good intro. It was a very, very good intro, and Act 1 definitely stands out amongst the rest as kicking things off in a very beautiful way.
It didn't take 5 hours to tell the lore, which is I think is really important. Like,
they did it in a good way. Because you
because they went through the order lore.
Yeah.
Like the lore of the not the pantheon, but like the one god that was supposed to be there, right?
Sure.
Or
the Imperator,
the pilgrimage, right? Yeah, and the order. So it was really good. It was a really good.
And I like that they foreshadowed the vibes a little bit. Like I like the scene that Saint was mentioning where the guy got exiled. Immediately we're presented with like the order. Who are these people? Like what's going on? What's happening? It's already setting the scene immediately. Like in the first 10 minutes, like the mask falls with the narwhal stuff, all of that, and then we see like the order exiling someone, and it's already been like 15 minutes, and we're like, oh my god.
Did you say the masked
There's a lot
fools?
of foreshadowing. No,
no, she did. No, she did. She did, didn't she? She fucking did.
I did. That was a slip.
Okay, so can we all be clear that I was not the only one that saw parallels now? Everyone's like, oh, you're weird for thinking that. I'm like, no, I mean...
No, I've been talking a lot about Honkai Star the past 3 days. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Fool's Troop. Oh my goodness. And then, yeah. Do you know what? Fuck it, whatever.
I mean,
I'm moving on.
Wear masks.
I'm moving on.
They do wear masks.
They do wear masks.
Everybody wears masks.
It's easy to confuse.
Can we just get a moment
masks, though.
Can we get a moment of appreciation for the opening of Act 2? Like where they're just like walking and the music is playing, and then they introduce you to that like other area. Like that shit was so fucking crazy. Like that I think was probably like for me personally probably like the highlight of the whole thing. I was like,
that's
holy
one of the
fuck.
best moments in Gacha.
You know what it reminded me of?
I actually have a Twitter clip of that.
It reminded me
was amazing.
It reminded me of the scene in The Last of Us, where you get to the area and you see like the giraffe for the first time, like it's the old natural area. You know what I'm talking about? There's also a very similar scene in Warframe as well, kind of towards one of the climax where you're climbing up this mountain as well. A lot of people that play Warframe, I think they know what scene I'm talking about. It was one of those really pivotal moments where it's just like, holy fuck! I mean, it's just like how everything's just presented, just everything literally expands before our eyes, and it was the way it's presented, the music as well. It was really good.
I think it's definitely one of my favorite cinema moments in Gacha.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, I mean, just one of those iconic Breath of the Wild scenes. No, like I feel like every open world game kind of like kicks it off like that, but they did it really well. Like sets the backdrop, it shows the world. And the music that they had leading into it is epic. Like
it was epic.
Like if we were to tier list all the Breath of the Wild open world scenes, like I think it would be like A S tier would be pretty.
Yeah, no, it's up,
fair.
It's up there.
Actually.
I think it's also such a simple idea that like no other gacha really utilizes, and the fact that they're just taking these simple ideas and really implementing them and making the story feel more important. Like straight up, like they're the best at storytelling. It's them and ZZZ. But this is like obviously better because it's open world, it's more immersive. So yeah, it was just fucking insane. I got to give them props for that.
Yeah, and then how you immediately get to like fly after that too, because then you get the gadget immediately, and then you actually are able to like kind of experience the world in a way that's so different from for me like any other kind of open world game I've ever played. The flying in WoA is just unparalleled. You actually get to fly. You're not gliding. You're not floating. You're actually able to like control yourself and stay in the air for a decent amount of time. And then I think it just affects the scenery so nicely. Especially after, because when you go into that scene for the first time, right, before it opens up, you actually go up the elevator. So it's like you're just constantly going up, and then you see the openness of the sky, and then you can literally go into the sky. And then that experience in itself is kind of ethereal.
You know what I really liked most about that?
Really, really nice.
Is that about the whole flight, about how the flight mechanic was introduced to us? It wasn't. There was nothing. We didn't have to go through another weird side quest. We didn't go through all this bullshit. It's like, no, it's just flight. There, go for it. I'm like, oh, let's fucking go. That was great.
But not only can you go for it, it's like it works so well out the gate. You don't have to get you don't have like 2 seconds of stamina It's really good straight away.
We didn't have to go through like 2 hours or 3 hours of some useless side quest we'd give no fucks about just to get the flight. Like, no one wanted to do that. We just want a flight. They give it to us. All right, okay, I'll take that. Let's go.
You didn't even have to do the story to get the flight either. If you did the early access to go to like the fucking gargoyle, you would just get this random pop-up that says like flight unlocked.
Yeah.
I was just like, wait,
oh really?
What?
Yeah.
And then I was just flying around. That's why I think like I think like fucking Hex Juice was like 100% of the map before even starting the story or something like that.
Yeah,
because of that.
Bro, it's fun, man. It's fun. It actually also controls really well. Like surprisingly, it doesn't feel like I'm playing like a really ghetto flight simulator or something. It just feels good.
I think it could be
exploration as well. Exploration, it makes it so much more like exciting.
Yeah,
like, for me personally, in Huanglong area, I just did not explore. I did the story, I built my characters. I am not running around the map constantly. But with like Runasita, it's like, oh shit, wait, it's just down there. I'll just fly down there. You know, it's pretty easy. All right, and then,
it's fun.
Absolutely.
It's just.
I just want to say,
so big too.
I would like to keep the conversation right now just for story for the first half because we have something special for the second half when it comes to overall experiences. So I just want to like pivot back real quick to just story.
Okay.
Just so we can get all the spoiler stuff kind of like out the way. And then we can go for like non-spoiler kind of like in the second half a little bit. So just go back to Act 1. We also had a big introduction of a character called Zanny, who turned some heads. And that ass definitely turned a lot of people's heads. You know,
lots of different types of heads too.
It's the strongest button. That's the strongest button of all time. It's literally like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 holding the two fucking like holding the train. That's what that button is, bro. That button is doing God's work. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Is insane. So how did you feel about her introduction and the fact that like Kura's actually putting in like voice actors?
I felt many things.
Accents. I think we saw Glade's video about it. That they're really sort of going for it now. They went from like having VAs that were kind of like interesting direction to having something insane. So how are we all thinking about the voice direction right now? And
good.
I think it's really dope that there's like this person is clearly like from a specific region of the world, and then they actually sound like it. All of them have
actual personality as well.
Exactly, yeah. Like there's actual distinct sounds. Like you could tell the difference, obviously, between all their voices because, like you know, they all sound different. But like there's a distinct difference. Like holy fuck, that's Zanny, right? Or that's this character. I think it was fucking insane.
I think it's also
everything. Oh, sorry. Really quick, I think it was like really good. Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like they definitely you can tell like how important it was for them to kind of really hit the nail on the head for this one. Because I feel like this is a relaunch in every sense of the word. They want to show like, hey, we're doing it. Like we're actually like putting in effort here where we were very much criticized for not putting in like any effort.
Yeah, it feels like with the voice acting in this particular patch, it felt like they allowed the voice actors to really just like embrace the character and kind of take it where they wanted to, like how they wanted to deliver the lines. Versus before, it felt a lot more like unnatural, right? Whether it's the direction or because they wanted to like do a very specific way. But then this time, you could really hear them having fun as they were doing the lines throughout the story, and whether it's because maybe the story is also better, so that could also contribute to it. But I think just like it feels like they gave the voice actors a bit more creative freedom to fully express themselves properly.
I think that was one of the main problems about 1.0 though. I think that was one of the main problems at 1.0 is that some of the characters, it felt like they were being told to say it this way. So like, okay, or whereas now it's sort of like, this is your character, this is who you are, go for it. And they've just done it to the best of their ability, because a lot of voice actors, when they get their character, they literally, the first thing they do is get the picture. The first thing they do.
Do you actually think that's like what they did instead of like giving them more direction? Because I feel like they gave them more direction. That's probably why it was so effective.
Sorry, let me rephrase was not so much direction, but like as in 1.0, like for instance, if you take Yang Yang, right? It sounded like she was very sort of like the direction she was, like the direction, the direction she was given.
They kind of forced her to use like an accent that she doesn't have naturally. So then that caused caused the dialogue to be very stilted. Whereas in this case, I'm not like too familiar with the voice actors themselves, but they sounds a lot more natural. It's like they let them do something they were more comfortable with rather than forcing them into a mold for the character that already pre-existed.
Right.
Or maybe the casting was just better. Maybe they casted better for the individual like characters.
I mean, no, they
definitely.
the casting was crazy. I mean, they got Jennifer English for Carlotta, which is crazy. Crazy.
Did you guys say that the English
voiceover
is better than the JP one?
I wanted to say, but
yes,
I think Jennifer carries like.
As the resident Japanese person here, I know there's two other Asians, but I'm obviously the most Asian person in this complete.
You're Japanese now.
I'm kidding. But as someone that actually does understand Japanese and someone that does almost always exclusively play in JP dubs, I do try the English ones, and I'll be honest, like through this 2.0, I did feel myself wanting to hear them more in English. I said this in the video as well, like because of the different variety of accents. Like we've got French with Nyala, we've got Italian with Zani. Although Italians say she sounds Russian, Russians say she sounds Italian. I just think she sounds hot. And then you've got English as well with Jennifer English. And it's like with all the variety of characters in there, the variety of accents, it gives them more distinctness to them, and it makes it a lot more interesting to listen to. It's like it makes them feel more like they are their own characters. Like they're not just like
it gives
more. Yeah, it separates them.
A stronger brand.
Exactly. So like in JP as well, the performances in JP were absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to knock them at all. They were great. They had some amazing talent behind them. Like Ueda Kana, which is the voice of Tosaka Arena as well, and as well as many. I know you. I know. And
Western CCs take a W, boys. English voice acting is good.
But the thing is that
love to see it.
There's a difference. There's a difference in Japanese, like how they make the characters distinct. Like there's dialect in Japanese, but there's accents in English, and it depends on which one you like. And I really do appreciate the different accents in this one. It was really, really fun and interesting and enjoyable to listen to. So I would definitely recommend anyone to play in English if they are able to, or play in both. But English was really strong in this one.
It's more distinct.
Yeah, I would say like good voice acting is meant to kind of immerse you into the world and the setting. And Raguna and the way Rinasita is set up, it really gives that European sort of vibe. So it just does the English just emphasizes and helps that along so much better, in my opinion.
Even for the NPCs too, if you just walk around Raguna, there's so many voice lines that will play. Yeah. People are singing. There's like advertisement sounds.
The city in the world, the city in the world definitely feels alive.
The NPCs also actually like really look good. Like the pizza one, the one that you go to at the beginning of Act 1. I forget this dude's name. I think he's blonde, and he's like he introduces you to the lady with the mask. Oh, I can't remember his name. But like the NPCs look fucking amazing. Yes. Like the NPCs actually look like legitimate characters too. Also, the drip of the homie in all red. I don't remember his name.
Cristoforo.
Holy
Cristoforo.
He needs to be a playable character.
I do want to ask you guys about him actually, Cristoforo. Now that we've brought him up, like, what do you think that he's gonna play a bit more of a role coming up?
Yes.
Bro,
he's a Fraxidus dude.
Yes.
Spoilers for everyone out there, just so we're all clear.
Yeah, we've already said this is
Are we able to talk about spoilers or not? Like,
no, we are talking about this. Just another reminder. Another reminder.
There will be another section that we're not going to do spoilers with, and I'll make that clear. And we're gonna do something interesting. But right now, yes, spoilers.
With a non-spoilers person.
Sorry,
it's too late now.
Too late now, Shane. Too late now.
Fuck them. They're stupid and
greedy.
Too late
now.
Fuck them. No, I think
it's been out for like a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
10 days.
That guy needs to be like the final boss. On God, like he needs to be like transformed like Scar did, like or some shit. Because that homie looks he's just too cool. He's just too cool. He actually out-auras Scar, and it's actually pretty crazy how.
Whoa! I think
Scar has more personality. Scar has more personality.
I think he looks classy. He doesn't look edgy. You know, I think he looks really good.
Yeah,
you guys would like him if they added a dick zipper and then they removed it. That's why you would like him. They'll do the Malvika thing. They'll put it to the fucking balls and all the way back to the crack, and then you guys would be like, "Oh my God, this change Intash here, and this changes everything." Like, bro, he out-auras Scar. I'm sorry. Fuck Scar.
Okay, I think you were like just, you was objectively wrong on that one.
Dialogue was great.
It's okay to be wrong, Ethan. Amazing. So I do kind of want to talk a little bit. So we've been glazing a little bit. I do kind of want to talk a little bit about maybe parts of the story you thought that were a little bit weaker. perhaps, and why that might be. Because I know my one main thing, really, over the entire course of the story was the dynamic between the families, between the Montellis and the
Phasaelias.
Yeah, Phasaelias, yeah.
Were you paying attention to the story?
Yes, okay, let's not, okay, listen. I was paying attention. Montellis and Phasaelias, and I think my one real big critique of the plot and story overall was that I wanted a bit more of like a pushback between those two families in some way in the story. But I realized that in doing that, we would have made it a lot longer. So I wanted to kind of hear like your guys' takes on that. Like the actual dynamics between the two and the interactions they had. Were you satisfied with that?
I think we're going to get a lot more in the future.
Yeah,
like,
we're going to get more
mostly just setting up the dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, because
I was very satisfied with it. Sorry, I feel like I'm cutting off so many people.
Son of a bitch!
Just continue your point. Just continue your point.
No, cut them along.
Yeah, no, I feel like the best thing about like the sort of families and how many different factions there are, how many different groups there are, is the fact that they didn't bog you down with so many of the details, and that they were very pretty plain and easy to understand at a glance. I feel like I think they were really well executed. And I don't think that they went too deep into like trying to define like their ideology and philosophy. It was very simple, and I do think it was good. And
yeah, I was literally about to say something similar, where it's like I think and also what Age said. I think they are setting up the dynamic that there are different factions and families throughout Raguna and Renacita. We find out another faction or another family or faction in the Carlotta quest line as well that is also incorporated into the lore.
Close my ears for that one.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to say it. That's it. That's all I want to say.
But Soprano, spoiler.
The Soprano.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Godfather. But the thing is, I think the fact that they're setting up the fact that there is rival families and families that do not get on, and they control different parts of Renacita, and the whole point of it is they have different agreements on different rules and regulations and laws that don't overstep the territories. So I think the whole point of especially Act 2, which does mention the Phasaelias and the Montellis most, since that's the act that we spend most of the time at Carlotta, I think they're setting up the dynamic, and I think they're just going, this is a storyline that's going to unfold later. Whether or not maybe a new resonator in the future is part of the Phasaelias, we don't know, and maybe we'll find their side of the story. But I think it was done to the perfect amount, because too much of it, I think, would have been a bit annoying for me, because it's like we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the world and the Fractidus. We don't need a family feud right now. Like it's a good story and a good thing to spread off. Yeah, that's later.
The only reason I say why I kind of wanted more is because I feel like it is very intrinsic to the story and it is very important. For example, when we're going through the like Imperator, right? For example, the Sentinel. But at the end, we were also going across to the Threnodian too. You have Imperator, and you have the Threnodian, the Leviathan, and who's the Threnodian? We got the Leviathan, and who's the other one?
I thought the
Imperator, the Leviathan, and the Threnodian, right? No?
Yeah, but the creature that the Threnodian was it the Leviathan, or was it the other? Yeah.
I thought the Leviathan was like the
I
think it's the same thing.
Leviathan's the same. Yeah.
And I think
I don't think the Threnodian was defined, right?
Yeah.
As something
they didn't show like exactly which one was which, but they showed that there were two, and then we know that one of them is the Imperator and one of them is the Threnodian, but we don't really, it's like a bit unclear.
And how they look is like one of them is more Leviathan from the deep, from the sea, and one is like the Kelpie horse unicorn type thing, and
the Pegasus.
So the reason I was saying that is because all these factions are kind of like, we think, worshipping something different. Right, and that's very core and intrinsic to the
The actual thing is supposed to be called a hippocampus. It's not a unicorn. It's a hippocampus. Yep.
Okay, I thought it was like a Pegasus sort of thing.
I thought the same thing. Even the statue.
Okay.
Got you. But yeah, but I feel like every of these factions or families, for example, you've got the different Montellis, the Phasaelias, you have the Order, you have all these different things and people and bodies that kind of are worshipping something different. So that's why I feel like it was important to have them distinct between each other and have them like interact maybe a little bit more to get more of an impression of like what kind of values do they have as like a group. But I think the Montellis and the Order were done very, very well. Personally, I think they were done very, very well. I think for me, as the Thessalias, as like a family, that weren't really as spoken about as much, that we know as much about. I would have liked to seen a little bit more from them. That's really my only like criticism, to be honest.
I think it's going to come with time.
Dynamic.
I really do. I don't think they want to because they did give a lot. I just don't think they want to overwhelm you. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like Act 4, Act 5 like really builds upon that, and then I would assume if they do have an Act 6, if they do or whatever, but like they'll probably do that to build up and then reach the peak. I'm not too annoyed about that. Redden wants to say something before I kind of derail the topic of what I didn't like, and I think everyone's gonna hate me for. So
I hate you already, mate. Don't worry.
Same.
Do anything for that.
Yeah.
I feel like though, I feel like if we get too deep and lost in the weeds with the whole different factions and family stuff, you get something like what Penacony had. And does anyone remember all the families in Penacony?
No.
Well, I think
I tried to forget that as much as possible. That is my repressed memory.
Yeah, but that was like a thing, right? But that was like a thing that they wanted to push, and that's like what I felt like led to a lot of just confusion, disappointment, and just overall just a bad taste in everyone's mouths.
I think Renacida will do what Penacony couldn't. My bad, but yeah, I think it will do what Penacony couldn't, actually make the story compelling in under 15 hours for sure.
I think they did it,
they
did
it already
because it was so simple. And I liked that.
Yeah, to build on that though, I do in like Cap with you in this point, like I kind of disagree a little bit because the way I see 2.0 overall is mostly as set up. I like that they kind of like dipped their toe in a bunch of the different things and introduced a bunch of the different stuff without really going too into depth for like any like one particular one. Sure, we did focus on specific things. That's just how like a good story is written. But I feel like to bring up Penacony again, I think one of the places where Penacony failed was like overall as a story I enjoyed it, but as individual patches it kind of felt like each patch was just its own separate thing rather than one cohesive story, because they focused way too much on one particular thing in each patch. Like the first patch was just like all Firefly, the second patch was like all Aventurine, the third patch I really liked the third patch, but then it was kind of like more build up to like the finale for the third patch. But it kind of felt like a bit disjointed, right? It's like after the first patch, I felt like there wasn't really much relevance to like Firefly as like comparatively to the overall story anymore. And then after the second patch, like Aventurine just fucked off to like who knows where, right? It's like he played his role and he just disappeared. So I think it's nice that they're kind of like dripping the everything as a whole all at once, and then of course they're probably going to build on it later in the patches in Wuthering Waves. Like I mean that's my hope, at least, is that they like slowly build up these different factions while keeping them intertwined in a more like I don't know the word, but not like one at a time, really, like kind of like all together.
I actually have a question. Do you think that is that the word you were?
I think the word was cohesive. And like a more cohesiveness.
Yeah, I guess cohesive works. Yeah.
Do you think after this, let's just say the story comes in the next patch, do you think they're still going to continue, like, how Star Rail does like the Trailblades? Like I feel like they also have a lot of opportunities to introduce more main story quests about the families as time goes on. If we are going to be in Renacida for a year, I don't know how long it's going to last, right? Some people say it's going to be 6 months or whatever, but I also think they have the they have the time to just tell it. Like I honestly have full faith in their writing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like other than the thing I really didn't like, just because I feel like it was really good, but it didn't feel as effective to me because we've had this so much, is like the little mini date with Carlotta. I didn't care for it. I know everyone's gonna.
I love that scene. That scene was beautiful.
No. So here's the thing.
Hang on.
The dialogue was so
before we continue, because we're like moving on. We haven't really heard much from Saint about this story. I know Saint's mainly about gameplay, end game stuff, but I want to know, like, as someone that is mainly in the end game and gets more into the weeds of stuff. Saint, what did you think about the story, like as a whole? Story, characters, voice acting, because you've not really spoken up too much about that.
I mean, it's good, right?
Is that it? Okay, thanks, Saint.
God, man, why do you talk so much?
Bro's such a yapper. The chronic yapper is not a yapless. What's going on?
Okay, so my viewpoint on it is that everything got expanded on just enough from my point of view. 2.0 was obviously a patch where they're trying to introduce a lot of different things without diving too far into a lot of stuff.
I might be in the minority here, but I personally feel like I ended 2.0 with more questions than answers, but still felt satisfied at the end of it.
So many
and
answers.
I think that's 100%. Obviously the point, right? It's to keep you excited for the next patch, to give context on what's going on in the region, but still have a lot of unresolved plot threads that are going to be explored later. And obviously, right, since we have Phoebe and Brant as the main characters of 2.1, we're going to be seeing some expansions about the Order and the Fool's Troop, right? Probably an interaction between the two of like why the Order created the Fool's Troop in a sense by, shuttling off all these people on the fucking pilgrimages of literal death. Because like they go get eaten by a dragon, right?
Like how aware the Order is of them too, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's obviously the relationship that's going to be explored more over here. And then maybe we have some people, maybe we have a playable character from the fucking Phasalia family, right? The Phasalia family as one of the other characters in like 2.2, 2.3, 2.4.
Cool stuff.
And obviously there's the whole Frivola piece as well. Like, what the fuck is she doing and why the fuck is she here? And that's like in the later patch, because obviously I think she's going to be playable. Like, she's like the main antagonist of the region. I think she's going to be playable. We'll see.
We thought that about Scar though, so
I'm in the hopium room.
But they did that drip marketing for her though. But they did like that similar drip marketing where they dropped that mini trailer. I don't think they ever did that with Scar.
They didn't.
She most likely were. I think they're saving Scar for a rainy day, but that's like a completely different tinfoil hat. But
okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I would actually like to ask the questions about how you thought Folova was as an antagonist in this patch. Did you think she succeeded as being an antagonist? Did she do her job? Do you even think she is an antagonist? Like how are you guys feeling?
She's more like
her?
a shit stirrer.
In my opinion. She's only an antagonist in Act 3.
Yeah.
She's not really, I mean, like she I'm sorry. She does like pull the strings throughout the entire story of 2.0. But I feel like she doesn't really personally, like, she doesn't have her personality or philosophy sort of involved too much in it, I guess, or like it's not very explicit. Definitely I would say she's like a little, I guess, weaker as an antagonist, but I do think that this is just the setup. This is just setting up where we're gonna go. And I do think even if we, let's say, have some unresolved plot lines or like questions that we may have, I feel like this patch sets the direction very well. We know kind of where we're going, right? Especially with the after scene.
If we're frankly being honest, I feel like Frivola kind of just doesn't even. She feels like she's helping, to be honest, right? Because you need a villain for the play, for that idea of like the whole play to even work. You
exactly.
And she played along too.
Judas theory. Judas theory here. That's what it is.
No, because
she knew this would kind of happen in a way, right? It's kind of how it feels. Like she knew that this would kind of be an outcome, and the whole thing was orchestrated. Like
she wasn't surprised. She wasn't surprised at all.
Brant even goes in, right, when they're teeing up like how they're going to approach the festival and win the laureate, because the idea is that they need to get the laureate right on Rover for this to be a success. If you kind of view the entire ending sequence as like with that in mind, they need the laureate. The only way for them to get the laureate is for the performance to happen, and for that performance of like the whatever, the evil demon king, whatever, to be defeated, there needs to be a demon king in the play. And then Frivola played the role of the demon king. And so it literally feels like she was just helping out for fun. At that point.
So what's her name again? Saint. What's her name again? Saint. One more time.
Frolova.
Shut up. So I got what?
Frolova.
Baloney.
I also think that if we go back to some of the Scar stuff, like whenever Scar was talking to Rover and stuff, maybe her kind of involvement with the performance and everything might be due to the old, like, I've known you from the past kind of thing. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not really sure. I kind
of hope it doesn't.
I'm not saying like, do I hope it does? Do I hope it doesn't? But maybe I don't know.
Go on.
Sorry. My guess, and I didn't really think about it until Saint brought it up, but yeah, I do think she like kind of helps orchestrate everything. It's probably to draw out the Jinshi of the region. Right?
We will touch on that for sure. I mean, that's what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say, when obviously Kaz was saying, obviously what everyone else was saying, about Frolova being an antagonist and her sort of enjoying herself and sort of what Saint said about her helping it along. Last time we saw Frolova before this, was at the end of 1.1, and she was orchestrating Scar's breakout because she obviously mentioned, "Oh, let's go check on an old friend that in prison." So she's obviously planning something around Scar as well. And I think it's like chess. It's like different pieces are in place. Okay, I'm going to make sure that's in. I've been instructed to make sure that Scar is in perfect position to get broken out. Now I need to go to Renacita to make sure this is in play. I need to help out. Need to help out these guys in Renacita to make sure that everything plans out the way it's supposed to. At the end, when I forgot his bloody name, Cristofaro, whatever his name is. Yes. When him and Frilova were talking, he said, "We're all pawns at the end of the day. So who the hell is in control of everything? Because these guys are doing as they're told." Okay.
Pawns, chess. Pawns are amazing.
Yeah,
what is wrong?
So funny, Ryukyu.
These
so funny.
Cap, you were playing chess for a while. I'm just okay, fine.
But these guys were sort of like, as far as they're concerned, they know their roles they're playing. They know they've been told or instructed or guided to do these certain things. Otherwise, they wouldn't refer to themselves as pawns or puppets. And one of my theories is, obviously, we know Rover is a reincarnation over and over again. We're in the cycle, right? In one of his past cycles,
we are the master.
We created the Fraxidus.
Oh.
And obviously, as we know, every single Sentinel has called us Lord Arbiter, and obviously we created Jue. Jue was brought up with us. We created Jinzhou. Maybe in every single iteration of the reincarnation, we have paved the way for this final incarnation to break the cycle, which is the cycle that we are playing through. But for some sort of reasons, everything that we're going through has already been set up by past lives that we've experienced. We just don't know yet, because there's also the goddess. There's also the goddess that sort of thrusted us back into the Solaris as well, and Abby as well, which is another ball game.
Oh my god! Yeah. Oh, actually, I love to. How
Abby's
do you feel about later? Abby, I thought was actually great in 2.0. It was just enough of Abby, and it was great. Like, I felt that they were actually, especially like Act 3 as well. I thought that was amazing. That one scene with the dragon at the end in Act 3 was amazing. Insane.
That was amazing.
And genuinely, that was so.
I think they did a good job in not using him that much. Her.
Yeah.
Them.
Yeah.
Did you just assume that gender?
Nope.
Why don't you like Abby?
Because it's just fucking like stupid. It's just the whole thought of it.
No, yeah, I like him, but I don't hate him.
They did a good job.
Abby.
No. So they did
kick it, you know.
They did a good job in 2.0 of not making Abby too intrusive to the story.
True.
But for fuck's sakes, I feel like Abby just killed the motherfucker off.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree with this.
Abby, take a nap.
No, you're skunk. No. You're skunk. You're skunk.
Go to sleep.
Of 2.0, where you're like slashing for Vola with the scythe. Abby's just like hanging on. It just looks funny as fuck.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Right.
Like as you're like going like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, please.
Abby, I don't hate Abby. I think Abby as a character is really nice. I like Abby. They, whatever, are really interesting. They're fun. Completely fucking irrelevant. You could take Abby out and just rework a few words, and it would change absolutely nothing with the story whatsoever. They, whatever. Abby is. Every time they're on screen, not every time, should I say, like at the end of Act 6 in 1.x, and also like Saint just mentioned as well, at the climax of where Abby's clinging on for dear life to the siphon, it's like it removes the gravitas it removes the impact of the scene. It's like this scene's supposed to feel really fucking amazing. It's like, why the fuck is Abby there? It just numbs the effect.
If Abby came out. If Abby came out and looked determined like Rover was, I think it would kind of be like a really cool team up. Like, she's come out to help her. I personally, I think that because I don't think Abby's an irrelevant, terrible character. I think the whole point of Abby is to set up a huge plot point and an arc in the future. Now, whether you can like it, you can hate it, I don't give a shit. It's there for a reason. Okay, like every single patch. Sure. Every single patch that we've seen Abby from the end of 1.0 has been Abby's able to absorb pure energy. There's something wrong with Abby. Somehow Abby's connected to the goddess that put us back into Solaris 3, because it literally looked like she put Abby in us and then put us in the palm of our hand and then threw us back in Solaris. There is a reason for all of this, and I think the problem with Abby right now, like within the story, not as in that the problem with the character, but like she's going through like an energy crisis where she's constantly fatigued all the time. We don't know what's going on with her.
Wait, no. So here's the thing. I think Amethyst is right. Just give me 2 seconds. I think Amethyst is 100% right, and that I truly believe Korra will develop the Abby storyline and make it worthwhile. I don't doubt that, because there is a real, genuine reason for Abby being there as opposed to Paimon. I think a lot of people are just tired of this fucking mascot trope. Yeah. And they did a good job of, I'll say this real quick, I think they did a good job of Abby's presence in 2.0, right? It wasn't too overwhelming, but I personally, I'm just fucking over this, and maybe it's because I'm fatigued from Genshin, and maybe that's my problem, but I definitely agree with you. I think they will deliver on it. I think they're
planning on delivering, because I think they're definitely planning on delivering, and I think the whole that connects to the bigger picture of what are the Sentinels, who is the Lord Arbiter, really. I think Kuro are doing a very good job handling Abby, in a sense where I think they've looked at other avenues, like you look at the other mascots and other gachas and gone, all right, look at a Paimon. Every aspect, every second, every minute of every moment in that game, Paimon's there repeating 10 times what has just been said, and it's the most like, we don't need to hear it. With Abby comes out, but Abby just adds on to what's already been said. It doesn't. Abby doesn't repeat it.
I agree with you.
Neither is Abby a March 7th either.
Right.
Can I say this is a story where like you ask Abby and they're just like, "Fuck off, I'm tired." and they go back. It's actually funny. It's actually funny.
Yeah, like Abby has an actual personality. Which is why. And then I don't mind having.
No, well, I mean. To be fair, Paimon has a personality too, right?
An annoying one.
It's annoying though.
After like 4 regions.
But
listen. Abby's not Paimon, okay? No. That's not my problem with Abby, okay? Abby, I think anyone who's seen like a lot of these stories kind of know how Abby is gonna play out. Abby is a get out of jail free card. Abby is a Deus Ex Machina in a pocket. Abby is gonna be a plot device somewhere down the line. That's like without a doubt. Like that.
I want to add to that though.
Abby, it's not really like the importance of Abby that I have a problem with. Because Abby is gonna be important and they're set up to be important. I just don't think when Abby talks, they add anything that is like substantial or that is meaningful. Abby is the same thing as like, if you look at Aladdin, right? Why does Aladdin get stuck in the Cave of Wonders? Does anyone remember?
No.
I've actually never seen Aladdin before, other than Kingdom Hearts.
Because Abu talks. It's because Abu, his pet monkey, touches treasure, right? So he accelerates the plot. He starts like a whole conflict on his own, right?
But why is that a bad thing?
Of like, no. Hold on, it's not. But I just don't like how Abby. I just don't think Abby says anything or adds anything meaningful to the conversation. So I'd rather Abby just not talk. I don't really have that much like problems with Abby. It's besides that, it's just he's a little annoying to me. That's it.
I've got my Abby right here.
Sorry, you go first.
As I say, I got my Abby right here.
Aww. That's adorable, yeah.
Oh, you're so cute. That's so cute.
Yeah. I just rather have Abby be cute. Sorry.
Yeah. You say like Abby's kind of this get out of jail free card, but I think for the first time in 2.0, we actually saw Abby at their limit in Act 3. Like literally, like we literally saw Abby almost get destroyed.
Oh, end of Act 2.
Was it? Act 2, sorry, end of Act 2, we saw Abby literally at that limit. So that we kind of know in terms of like, I know there are like power scalers that exist in these kind of communities. But we kind of know that Abby isn't always a get out of jail free card. No. There are some things that they cannot do, and they've actually set that boundary now. And I think for me, that was actually quite important in terms of like the story, that they've set a baseline for what Abby's capable of.
Did you guys really hate Abby after seeing like the cutscene?
I love Abby.
Them, like after taking the hit and you get KO'd, them dragging you to safety.
The facial expressions on that were amazing.
Hate Abby after that?
No,
you got the frames of them dragging you to safety by themselves.
I think that's dope, and again, I think they're handling Abby well. I just don't want the whole game cycle to be involving Abby. Again, don't make no mistake. Abby in 2.0 was 1,000% tolerable, and I hated them in in the 1.0 versions, truthfully. But this was a lot better. But I just think overall, it is just like, can we just fucking not do this? I'm just tired of this. And again, maybe I'm fatigued. Maybe it's me.
You've got post Genshin,
whatever the fuck it's called.
Paimon
stress disorder.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Again, I think they will be a part of the plot, but I don't need Abby to be the fucking main focus or a significant part of the plot for the next 4 fucking years.
Yeah,
because then it just gets boring, right? So I have faith in them that they will deliver, but it's like, all right, like I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because I'm a Koro bot. But
sorry, I need to get this out. Okay, so like I said before, I do not hate Abby, but I still can see.
You're a liar.
No, I don't. I think they're amazing.
You just DM me that. It's fucking crazy. You literally just DM me that.
Can you delete that for me? Just and
gotcha.
No, okay. So I don't hate Abby. I think they are fine. But I still, every time they're on screen, I'm like, why they could easily just like rework a couple of lines and just have Abby not be in this like at all. Like all the things that Abby needs his power. Abby needs to they could just make it, instead of Abby, just say Rover. Rover feels this need to like absorb the powers. You just change a few words around. Make it be like Rover needs his power to like sustain themselves while they're in this world or something like that. The same thing there, and like the same thing as well. When I made my video way back a while ago about what Japan thinks about Wuthering Waves, I remember one JP content creator. They said maybe they can add a mascot into Wuthering Waves. This was before the reveal of Abby. Maybe you can add a mascot, and I translated that. I put it in there. I had so many messages saying, no fucking mascots. None. Never. No. And now that we're out, it's like, yeah, she's fine. Everyone loves mascots. Where the fuck did this disconnect come from?
I think it's because it's not the fact that mascot is the issue. I think it's because of how they handled their mascot. Like, I think with
they're handling very well.
They're handling very well. Yeah, with what Ethan was saying is with Paimon, who was the first gacha mascot of gacha games, right? They handled Paimon, in my opinion, so fucking abysmally to the point where it's just a narrator. It's not even a character. It's a fucking narrator in the game, right?
Dude.
And with such an annoying high pitched fucking voice, which there's no plot point. Like there's no plot around Paimon other than Paimon's just there, you know. And it's got and with Abby, it's like there's a reason Abby's there. I agree with Ethan, as long as they don't make Abby too much of the vocal point for the next godforsaken 4, 5, 6 years, and they've fucking and as long as they
finish your thoughts. You can speak. Yep.
Sorry.
Free hypothesis traveler will help you. Like
it's like because with Paimon, it's like, oh, so we need to go up there. That's what we need to do, traveler.
So what you're saying is we need to go up there?
Yes.
So we need to climb up to the top of that mountain?
Yes.
To fight the final boss?
Yes.
That's what we have to do?
Yes. That is what you have to do. Do it. And then but with Abby, it's one of those things where I think they're bringing Abby out in small doses for the plot. And I think for elements of the plot, like there's no way we were going to defeat a dragon. So Abby's like, I can absorb the blast. Abby almost dies, but also at the same time, the reason why we're in Renacita is because Shorekeeper was like, that energy signature I sensed in 1.3, which Cap got pissed off because it didn't quite address it. It got addressed like I said it would.
Yeah. So what you're saying is everyone has another form of PTSD. So mine is Penaconic post-traumatic stress disorder. You're saying everyone has Paimon post-Paimon traumatic stress disorder. Yep. Also, I want to just correct you. You said that Paimon was the first mascot of gacha games. Oh my god, you are showing like how much of a baby you are.
Okay, we're talking
Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order 4. Search it up. Thank you very much.
Bro. Okay, who plays Fate Grand Order anymore?
Everyone plays it. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Okay, Grandpa, it's time for your fucking meds. Nobody plays those games.
Fate Grand Order is still played more, as much, if not more, than Genshin over here in Japan. It's just so we're all clear.
Bro, anyway, you who are the only people playing that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The point I was making is Abby is ill. Abby is sick. There's something wrong with Abby. Something's not right. She can't absorb energy correctly. Something's causing Abby to get fatigued to the point where she can only be out for 5 minutes and has to go away again. And the secret to what's going on with Abby's power resides somewhere in Renacita, which is one of the reasons we're there. On top of that, we got the invitation from the Montelli family, but before Shorekeeper hands us the letter, we go into the tether system, see another version of us, and then we also find out that Abby's sick and we need to find out what's wrong with Abby. So there's multiple stories that is going on in Renacita.
I would love it if they like kind of just like at the end of Renacita is like, alright, Abby's story's done now. Let's just move on to some other shit. Like he or she, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
They can be there. They can like, I don't know, show up every now and again, but not as much as they are right now because they're not as involved in the story. But yeah, I hope that it just ends with this like this entire quest sequence.
Gonna happen.
I don't think that's
going to.
But like,
So I kind of want to move on from the Abby conversation a little bit because I feel like we've fucking Abby. We've got some haters in here, we've got some lovers. However you feel about her is how you feel about her. I do want to bring up kind of the conclusion of 2.0 to kind of wrap up a little bit of us talking about the story. The conclusion to 2.0, and I'm just gonna say one word, and I want y'all to give me your thoughts, like your immediate thoughts. Okay, Cortethia.
Ooh.
Hot wood.
Easy pool.
Beautiful.
but
I like.
Wait. No, she was gonna give one word. You can give your thoughts, right?
No. You can give me one. You give your thoughts. Like, what are you thinking of Cortethia? Who do you think she is? What's your speculations on her? What do you think her relation to the Sentinel or
she's my new side
going
piece.
to be? She's gonna side piece. Do you think that she's going to be the Jinxie of Renacita?
Yes.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, and
okay, why is
she
that?
will be pivotal for the plot. She will be the main focal point and drive of it. But no, in terms of personality, she's not like Jinjo's or Renacita's like sort of
High Magistrate
built
sort of thing.
up to be savior. Yeah. She's not their leader. She's actually, I think they described her as like someone who's like kind of absent-minded or just not very well put together, right? Just kind of an average girl, right? Which is maybe like the role is kind of like thrust on her. So I think she's a good different type of Jinshi.
Who do you think she's going to be the resonator for?
What do you mean?
Well, the story kind of said both, right?
She's supposed to be both.
Yeah. Well, there's a theory. There's a theory that like Fenrico might be the resonator for the Threnodian, and Cortethia is the resonator for Imperator, right?
Who's Fenrico?
Fenrico is the leader of the
Primus.
Order.
Primus.
The Pope of the Primus. The Pope of the Order. Yeah.
I feel like the Threnodian and the Sentinel/Imperator have, for some reason, like somehow like merged into one being.
One person. That's a good point.
I don't know how or whatever, but I feel like that is what has kind of happened.
She went to say
one name.
Do you
think it's going to happen? That's what we're going to see.
Yeah, I think that could be a possible plot point. This was just me theory crafting with my chat, but I feel like there's so many, because it's so vague, and they kind of, I know it's like the way that they were presenting it was to kind of make it like plot twisty at the end, and it got me because I completely just like went along with what they were trying to make me think when it came to the Threnodian and the Imperator and stuff. But I feel like there's a lot of different things that kind of lead towards the idea that maybe the Threnodian and the Imperator are a lot like closer than we once expected. Like all the imagery of the yin and yang, the serpent kind of eating its own tail throughout history. Yes, we do have those like concepts, and they are like, in a way separate entities, but they also are one, right? Like that could also just be like saying how like Threnodians and Imperators are all kind of part of the two sides of the same coin. But I think because of the fact that when we see the history in the game, right, we see that there is like a quote unquote real history with the maiden and her relationship with the Imperator, and then so we assume that it's like the good guy, right, that she's like the good maiden that we're trying to find throughout, and then at the end we realize that, oh wait, it seems like she might actually be connected to the Threnodian instead. But then, so why would that history like be written there, right? Because and then they also mentioned like things how like before the people of Renacita even got here, there was already like something on the island, like stuff already happened. The statues were already there existing. So like what's going on there? I feel like there is going to be, I feel like she could be both. Is my TLDR.
For sure. That's why I think what Saint was saying. We were left with more questions than answers at the end of 2.0. Like they like lore theory crafters are gonna have such a fun time with this patch. Like such an amazing fun time with this.
Listen, she's waifu, so she's gonna be the true resonator of the true god. Okay, that's it.
100%. That's fair.
On
that's
that point,
fair.
I thought it was really good as someone that didn't feel particularly fulfilled in like HSR storytelling Genshin, as well as in some parts of the 1.x storytelling as well, as I've already gone through that. I really liked how we did go through this arc and we did have a sufficient, a more like satisfying payoff. It did actually go through the arc and it felt complete, but it did leave open some certain questions which need answers. But it didn't feel like have me feeling like why isn't this sorted? Like it's just like, okay, this is fine. We can explore this later on. Like with the conversation at the end with Fenrico, it's like, okay, I can see where they're going to go into more about the Order of the Deep kind of storytelling in the next patches probably. But like the actual story we had presented to us here, it had a sufficient beginning, middle, and end, and I felt like I was really satisfied by that. So I was glad. But it does have more questions. But it was not only the really nagging questions like why wasn't this addressed? It was just like it's avenues open, but no really questions that I need answering, which I really liked.
In the best way.
Yeah,
questions in the
they did
best
really,
way,
really well.
Essentially, yeah. Lastly, I just want to ask. Sorry, Karen.
No, I just wanted a question because I just because some people in chat seem to I feel like I'm having an idea that they think otherwise, like some people do. I feel like everyone's pretty clear. Like Fenrico's like gaslighting Rover, right? No,
I'm not sure. I think
Fenrico is speaking with half truth.
I think he's lying. I think he's like yeah. I agree with half truth.
I don't know. I think
that's his religion's doctrine. That's like what their order, like lockstep, like what drives them.
No,
yeah.
I think he believes what he's saying. I think he's been misled.
I think the Threnodian has come to him saying, "Oh, I am the Sentinel." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
manipulating him,
and he's been
doing
tricked.
things.
There's
like he believes.
There's something I want to add to this. Someone literally told me this like an hour or two ago. In the boss battle with how do you pronounce it? Hecate? Hecate? How do you
Hecate.
Hecate. No one can agree. Whatever the boss is, you could actually see like the Primus bowing down to the Hecate, like
Hecate.
in the actual like boss arena itself.
Yeah,
which
right.
Might be.
Right,
I don't know if that's just kind of like, you know, it's just there because as like a symbolic thing, or maybe it's, you know, again, the Frax are just playing a little bit of a part in maybe, you know, the Order, maybe they're in their ear a lot more than we think that they are, kind of thing. So that was literally something that got pointed out to me. Yeah, not Fenrico, not necessarily Fenrico, but the Primus. The Primus like is Fenrico. It's like the Order's like choice, right? They're top dog, right? Like
it's like the replacement for the Maiden.
Yeah.
By the Order.
Because
he's like the one who's supposed to be able to communicate with the Sentinel and then give them their like divine wisdom.
Yeah, and there's in Hecate's that full over like summoned essentially in that boss arena. You do see the Primus. We don't know if it's Fenrico, but a Primus bowing down in front of it. Which
I still think like he believes what he's saying, and I think he's been misled. And it's easier for someone in his position to convince everyone of a certain thing if they themselves also believe that. So, like I said, I don't think he's gaslighting. I don't think he's lying. I think he himself is being manipulated to implement certain regulations to prevent the carnival, which would prevent people having an avenue to speak to the true sentinel of the region. But because if he really was lying, I don't think he would allow the carnival under pain of death, because it would expose him. I think he genuinely believes what he's saying.
I think what he's doing. I agree.
Wait, very quickly, is Ryuko's camera? Wait, is Ryuko's camera slow for anyone else? Or is it just me?
What is Ryuko's camera doing?
It looks fine for me.
Okay, wait, I'm going to rejoin real quick. Wait, one sec.
All right, everybody, talk your shit.
Fuck, Cap sucks ass, and her hair's red. It's not pink. Oh, hi, Cap.
Hello.
What?
Hi, sorry.
Cap,
you look kind of funny for me.
I look amazing.
Only gacha player to not get the C6 and you're at C5. Everyone was talking shit while you were gone. I just wanted to tell you to your face.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to tell you you're fucking dumb. But let's continue.
Sorry, carry on.
Carry on. Oh, 7.
Oh. I thought it was I think it could be 50-50. What the sort of, I guess, what I wanted to say is that it's clearly like the sort of like evil doctrine, or like the one that's gonna go against the main narrative. I feel right, the antagonistic, but. I think it could be. I think it could be like a lie. It could also be true, and he believes it for sure. Like the Thernodian or whatever who achieved divinity, like would speak to him in such a way. Sure, I could see him being convinced of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. One last thing we'll talk about story. Carlotta. Carlotta was undoubtedly, I feel like, a star of the show.
Yeah.
There were so many scenes with her that I thought was cinema.
Bro, the rock fall when she was about to now choose Spider-Man, and then she has to fucking pick. That shit was crazy.
Was so good, bro.
That shit was peak. I ain't gonna lie to you.
She should teach math. How'd she calculate those angles so fast?
Yeah.
Bro.
Bullseye.
It was like that one part where she like kicked the sword and then threw it back. I was like,
yeah. Bro, she grew up in the streets. Like, honestly, she's crazy.
She a freak in the street.
I was saying that I loved how like they kind of trickled a lot of her character throughout this, at least in the main story. Obviously, they kind of trickled it, like because sometimes you have stories where it's just like, hey, here's a new region. By the way, this is the character you're gonna spend most of your time with for like the rest of the story, just like straight in front of you, waiting at the dock for you. Whereas this time they were kind of like, ooh, you know, you saw her at the shop and everything like that. You saw her later on, and I thought, ooh, it's kind of cool how they kind of introduced her slowly and didn't just kind of like, here you go, here's your character, take it.
Yeah. 100%. This guy is correct. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Act 1, you barely saw Carlotta. She was
True.
like,
she was like
very like you see traces of her. You see her sometimes in the background.
Yep.
You see her just like looking at Rover in certain ways. Right.
Her name has question marks. Yeah.
She was done very, very well. And then
Act 2 was definitely her show though.
Yeah. The gondola scene, okay, that was really pretty. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the boat scene. I fucked with the boat scene heavily.
Yeah, and like I've said this before. Like, I'm not a waifu person. I can love Carlotta. She's my favorite.
But yeah, Carlotta.
Her whole arc was done beautifully. Like the first part, just like trickling her in, like Kazana said, and the third part, and this is Ethan didn't like this scene, the little date scene.
No, I gotta rephrase it. I liked it. Just you go.
Her
you
just
finish.
like telling Rover her entire philosophy, why she fights, why the Montellis like fight, or what she believes in as like what her core values were. I thought that was so intimate. I thought that was so like meaningful. The way she delivered it, Jennifer English killed that scene. I really like this scene. I like the dialogue and the way she worded everything. That's what won Carlotta for me. She's like my favorite gacha character right now.
Fucking
I know, right? Exactly. Fucking converted.
Another one.
100%. That scene, like everything that she said there was just so insightful, so good. The way that like the order would, or like the order being so useful to them in the past, because Rinascita and Raguna is like a conglomerate of different cultures, different nations. And in order to kind of band them together, the order and religion was so pivotal and so meaningful to them. But in also just how it outlived its usefulness and how it just stunted their growth and makes them not able to kind of branch out and like express themselves, right? The price is their freedom.
Can I ask a question though?
He's smiling. Look, he's smiling. Look at that.
I think it was
look at that grin.
I think it was
really good.
Do you think, at least for me, like when you go on the whole date, you're on the little overpass or whatever, do you think that could have been a little bit more effective if we didn't have as much of the, oh, Rover, you silly little pop
Thank you.
champ.
Yes.
Like, I
fucking hate that.
Scene,
that
I think that scene was done so beautifully. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm in the same exact boat with you, but it wasn't as impactful for me because I'm like, I've seen like not this exact thing before, but we have experienced something similar where the fucking I love you, Rover, whether it's in not a romantic way or it is a romantic way. I feel like it's just like, It's just like,
Wait. You think? I'm not sure.
I hate those lines just in general. They piss me off. It's like, fuck's sake.
Did you think she was glazing him like a lot, like Rover?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
whoa, I disagree.
Yeah,
I felt that. I know a lot of people felt that. This is really interesting. This is really weird.
This is wild.
Of like
I know it is.
Respect and reverence over Rover's like power and what Rover has achieved for her. Okay,
let's even go with that. Wait. let's go with that. Let's say she wasn't glazing that hard and she wasn't trying to smash. I still think, although it was done so beautifully, it didn't hit as hard for me because it's not the first time we've seen this. Each story quest, we consistently are getting it. I don't think so.
This conversation is really interesting.
And it's justified. It's meaningful and it's justified.
Yeah.
The difference between Carlotta and someone like Shorekeeper is Shorekeeper was told by the plot to and
confess her love, basically.
Would tell that Shorekeeper had this history with Rover and had everything kind of going for them already. I knew you from the beginning. We've been together for forever, right? Yeah. It felt like a gaslight. It didn't feel justified. Carlotta is just totally different.
Yeah.
I'm not built up.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying it wasn't as effective for me because we've seen this. We've seen this with her.
No, I mean, that's
we've
fine.
seen this with Camellia. Yeah. I wasn't like
that's where I push back. That's where I push back. I feel like
it
is different, and it is like significantly different.
Yeah, I completely agree that. I completely agree that the quote unquote like Rover glazing in this Carlotta section of the story, and also in her companion story as well, not getting into details, was not nearly as bad as it has been in previous patches with say Camellia, Shorekeeper, and stuff like that. It was not nearly as bad as that, but I did feel some lines, some moments did kind of play into it. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. And on the point, okay, listen. Let me finish. Right, this whole thing is really fucking interesting for me because it's like it's weird that some people see it and some people don't. It reminds me of the blue and the blue and black dress or white and gold. Is it blue or black? Is it white and gold? It's so weird how some people can watch the same thing and have completely different interpretations and different feelings in that. I think it's great. Actually, when I say if you don't feel that way, I think you're completely validated in believing that as well. I just think it's really interesting how people can look at the same thing and walk away with two completely different
that's how you
vibes.
did a good job though.
No, it was good. Exactly. I thought it was really interesting. And I think me and maybe Ethan and I know a lot of people did also feel as well, did get those like the Rover glazing, like, she's in. I watched a lot of JP streamers and there were a lot of people in there who were saying, Camellia and Shorekeeper are not going to like this. They're going to freak the fuck out if they saw this. So I know a lot of JP said the same thing because they did. No, they did. They fucking did. I'm working the video right now, bro.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm not going to say they were not.
I'm just saying, and I'm saying again, it's really interesting how the community is split. Like they either see it or they don't. It's like Marmite. If you where you either Vegemite, you either love it or you hate it. It's really interesting. I think it's a great conversation.
Can I clarify really quick? I do see it. I think what they shared was very open, was very intimate. It was Carlotta kind of sharing with Rover like the map of her mind, right? Yeah. But that is so much more like meaningful to me when it's like when there's like details and she's describing it well instead of I love you, we've been together forever.
It's one of the reasons why I feel like, because I did obviously I'm not going to go too into details, but when I did the Carlotta quest after the story, the relationship and the respect, I thought the whole thing was good. But you can have you can have your opinion. I disagree with your opinion.
I would have said you're allowed to be wrong, but I digress. Let's continue.
I think the relationship.
Rover, we need to continue the Montelli bloodline. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
I did not hear that.
No. I think the relationship they have and the respect they have and the banter and the connection they have by the end of the Carlotta quest, I did not feel any Rover glazing at all, partially because of what they already went through in the main story. I think their relationship was justified. So I think playing the Carlotta quest after the main story, I'm thinking, their relationship here just seems completely fine. Like, I know some people, like, you go, Rover shouldn't even fucking be in the story. I fucking hate it, right? I just at the end of the day, it's a companion quest. It's a Rover. There's Rover's companions, right? So we're always going to have these quests. Rover's always going to be involved in these quests, so, whether you like it or dislike it.
Not needed.
He's the exactly.
Even your cat disagrees with you.
You gotta hold your behind you, bro.
He's like, bro, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking.
Like my point is, I think I didn't really get too much Rover glazing because everything that Carlotta said was like in the boat when we first met Carlotta, and every interaction we had was her out of great respect, and it was more coming from the family's mouth rather than her specifically. That's how I felt anyway. And she was sort of saying, I respect everything you've done. My family does. Every feat you've done, we know of, and you are a great ally and an asset to the family, and we respect you, and we want you to be a part of it. And then in the Carlotta actual quest, you see more of the fact that the whole family respects you, knows you how powerful and how important you are, and Carlotta also being involved in that adds to that as well. I didn't feel like it was a whole Rover glazing, like Rednew said. If you look at Shorekeeper, yeah, like the whole point of Shorekeeper, the reason why it's Rover glazing is because the whole point of their relationship was, as far as Shorekeeper's aware, they've known each other like 20. Yeah, it was off screen.
Yeah. It was a lot less, and it was a lot better done. Yes, I agree.
I think one important thing to talk about when it comes to like Carlotta and Rover, that relationship developing, is that we get to see firsthand like everything that Rover sort of like does to like prove their worth.
Exactly.
In that context, right? Like they're immediately like from the get-go, they're figuring out what the fuck happened to the Vitrium Dancer. They're doing all of this stuff without even like interacting with Carlotta in the first place, right? We find out the Vitrium Dancer is like going over to Lorelei, and then we deal with the Fraxidus thing. And so that's what Carlotta is coming into the conversation with, right? She knows that we actually know our shit, that we're actually capable, and that we're doing things that are actually good. And so the kind of like point that I made in one of my videos regarding the whole like gathering wives thing when it comes to her is that every interaction feels earned in that sense, right?
I agree.
In that she literally sees us do everything. We're very capable across the entire story quest. Like she's flying, like there's that one scene, right, where she's like flying through like the maze of lasers. Super scripted. Like I don't think you could even fuck that up if you tried. And we like end up catching her, right? Because we're busting our ass to get through our part of the quest and like dealing with all the obstacles, dealing with all the enemies. And so she knows the security in that vault. She knows that there's a fuck ton of stuff in there and like a lot of aggressive enemies. And so we're dealing with that on our own, and then like basically actually saving her at the end of it. Right? Because she kind of fucked up. Like she fell through the trapdoor. She made a mistake.
She's meant to be a pro. She's meant to be a pro.
Like, yeah, we're here to, she's like, we know her vault. We do better in the vault than she does. And she owns it.
Exactly. Right? It's her family's vault. How the fuck did she was caught unaware by her own traps? It's like, what the hell happened there?
I think everything you guys are saying is true. And I loved like those sequences, but I'm not gonna like, I'm just gonna be honest with you, like it wasn't like the greatest thing ever for me. I just felt a little numb to it because of Shorekeeper and Camilla. I was like, I loved the fact that they did it in the more tasteful way. Fuck you, HP. They did it in a more tasteful way where like you actually experience everything, you know? So they like you see everything, and like the relationship or friendship, whatever, completely develops from the ground up. Like I'm not denying that, but I'm also like, I think like, you know, I could go like another 2 or 3 patches without that again, and then maybe we'll come back to something like that. That's just it. Like I agree though what you're saying.
My thoughts on it is like I
want to hear from Cap and Age because they've been wanting to speak for a while. I think.
Can I just like cap off what I'm saying and then can pass it?
No, you
please
can't.
Be very short. Be very short. I swear to God, it's like
you got like 10 seconds, brother.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Age.
Okay, I don't like it. Well, it's in there, but I don't mind it nearly as much because it felt earned. To go what Saint was saying, because the thing with Camellia and Shorekeeper is that it didn't feel earned. It felt like empty calories, like just being glazed.
Your 10 seconds are up now. Let's hear from Age. Your 10 seconds are up. Right, Age, go.
Shut up! But like with this one, it's like okay, at least we are earning it, and so it's not nearly as bad. They did play a lot better. So that's what I want to say.
Yeah, like the thing about me is I actually really hate when games just kind of chill the MC, which is why I've never been into like otome games or like harem games or those types of things, because I just can't really stand it when they shove characters at me, like the player. But with Wuthering Waves, I feel like the target audience of Wuthering Waves is a little bit more leaning towards that type of audience who does enjoy it when characters do just really like you, right? And that's totally fine, you know, different strokes for different folks. But the thing about Carlotta is, and I think the reason why it's actually, like you said, there's so many different interpretations of it, is because in this particular case, like it felt a lot more natural the way that they built up the relationship, which is why for me, when I interpreted it, even though I'm usually very sensitive to these types of things when people are just like, you know, like coming at me as a player for no reason, I actually felt like it was a relationship that was building between two individuals, and I didn't really interpret it as romantic necessarily because of the trust and like all the things that the other said about how Carlotta was in a sense, like kind of we were earning her respect throughout the story, rather than we just kind of showed up, met her, and then happened to like each other type of thing, right? And there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. I'll say it if I remember.
I guess I'll kind of. Yeah, I guess I'll add to the conversation. No, because I do want to point out, like, again, like, I'm someone who was very, very critical of Shorekeeper. Like, I've been very, very critical of the whole Gathering Wives things. People call me insane for my hate on Shorekeeper. I didn't like how in the face that it was, that we've kind of mentioned. The fact that a lot of the relationship, like, that's been mentioned was off screen. I didn't like that fact. Like, I'm not someone who is just so easy to believe what I've been told. Oh, I love you so much. Okay, but how? Why? I hate to see that. Like, to me, that always bothered me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, but that doesn't mean anything. Where for the past hour they were being like, we're meant to be together forever. Okay, but like, that needs to be proven to me. And we've seen the whole thing with like Carlotta. For me, I loved Carlotta, but I never saw it in like the romantic sense. But I still loved her. Like, I don't think she's like a romance waifu. I don't. I know some people do. Like, people have,
she's
think
flirty,
that she is wife. She's flirty, for example. And she has like a lot of like trust with us. But I loved it because I didn't see it as a wife sort of character.
Right.
But I think she's still badass. I think she's so cool. She places a lot of trust and respect in us. I think the time that they were like the closest was really if you played Carlotta's story.
Yes.
And you get to the end, then you're like, oh, maybe, that could be something that could be whatever. But it was so small, but so perfect. And that was just it. And that was the perfect amount for me. It was the perfect amount for me. And I was very happy with that. It wasn't too in your face. It wasn't so overt. It was just enough. And I really, really like that.
So can I ask you a question?
She's the best waifu. Sure.
Can I ask you, like, and I'm not trying to be facetious, and anyone could answer us. How would you feel if we get just story that just doesn't have that? Like
I think it's kind of hard because it is a gacha game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No.
Oh god, no! For fuck's sake! I hate that.
Wait, no. It's not that it's a gacha game. It's that it's Wuthering Waves, and Wuthering Waves has so far built this pattern.
Yeah, they are going down. Yeah, no, don't say sorry. He just likes FGO. He has mental illness. The thing is, like,
mental illness,
bro, it's fucking trash. I'm sorry to tell you, it is what it is.
Wait 1,000 days for no reason.
2,000. To be too clear, 2,000 days.
We have to we have to make a distinction. When we say gacha games, we're talking about second generation gacha games. We're not talking about the fucking Candy Crush type shit back in the day. So just keep that in mind.
Candy Crush was never
second generation gacha game. Whatever the fuck, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Epic 7 and shit. Like, nobody cares, right? But the point is though, like, I think they're going really hard. Let me rephrase that. I think they're going towards that self-insert, right? And like, I get it, but like,
I hate self-inserts. Fuck.
Can we also like maybe have a patch that we don't have that, like, or bless you, like, or a storyline that it's not always that, because I'm not the type of person, like, I don't hate the fact that the game is about Rover. I that's not my opinion at all. And I really think this story was peak, despite that the little blemish of the old balloon guy and the fact that Carlotta scene didn't resonate with me as much as it did, let's say, Red New. It's still a fucking 9 out of 10 for me, right? Or even I said a 10 out of 10 in my review because the way they told the story. But I also don't think it would hurt if, like, hey, like, we just have a normal interaction and not everyone like.
The only story I've seen, I hear what you're saying. I think the only patch we've seen where they didn't do any of that, of the bare minimal, was 1.2.
Yeah, Zhang Liao
story.
Yeah, and that was a lot better.
That was boring for me.
Wait, was that a main story? Was that a main story or was that a side story? I don't remember.
It was an event story.
It's more like I feel like it's more filler. Yeah,
it was a filler. It was a filler.
Let me rephrase then. I'm talking about main story. Right?
Okay.
I know.
Can I say something to that really quick?
No.
Of course.
No.
I feel like Wuthering Waves. This is maybe you guys don't accept it just yet, but I feel like how I'm gonna be like sort of framing the story as we kind of move along Wuthering Waves' lifetime. I feel like it's going to have this sort of framing, and it's going to have this sort of structure. And how I see it is like, think of like a James Bond movie, right? Mm-hmm. Where you have James Bond and the girl he fucks, right? Yeah. And it's like, she's a heroine, but she's still a heroine, right? And it's like, for me, like the context that I'm going to be gauging the story, right, is just like how does this relationship build? Is it meaningful? Does it feel justified? Does it feel good? And it's like, okay, then yeah, this would be good. But this is still like the context of framing of that, of how I'm thinking about the story and how I'm gauging the story.
You know what the difference is between Rover and James Bond, though? James Bond is their own character. They are a very distinct character, whereas Rover, for better or worse, they are more often than not just like a blank slate. They are very much a self-insult, which it feels more empty to me. Like, if Rover was their own character, like legit, straight up, and they'll say things I would never say, I would like them to be their own character first. I think that'd be a lot more better.
Did the knock end, or am I on drugs?
We kicked you out.
Oh, fuck. Shit. It is what it is, boys.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me restart. Let me restart.
That's what happens when you have a good take.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna add. Wait,
Thanks.
hang on.
What's up, Hex?
Hex juice.
Yo, Hex jumps in. Holy Hex returning to Gacha. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've heard enough about the story. I think we need to move on. Have we considered maybe talking about other things? Because y'all have been talking about the story for like 2.5 hours, and I just feel like there's not enough like talking about other stuff.
We need more glue.
More glue.
How about let's shift gears and talk about our gameplay experiences. Hex, welcome back to Wuthering Waves. How have you found your experience so far?
So if you guys don't know how I ended up getting back into Wuwa, it's kind of funny. I got commissioned to do an ad for the game, which gave me beta access to 2.0 to get footage. And I was like so blown away by everything that was in 2.0 that I started playing again. And then I was like, maybe I do kind of want to stream some Wuthering Waves or something. LOL. Also, to be clear, I was invited. I didn't just come in and like crash the party.
Crash the party. This was planned, by the way.
This was pre-planned. I was like, hey guys, y'all are boring me. I'm gonna fix it.
How dare you?
Okay, that makes sense.
How dare you join the conversation? Oh, great heavens.
Oh, great heavens. Well, I'm not a gacha creator anymore, so of course, why would I intrude as a tourist?
On a tourist.
A tourist,
Yes.
But yeah, the game has really significantly improved. I think because I missed a lot of those kind of incremental QOL changes over time, because I didn't play from I think Jeji's release until right before 2.0 dropped.
Right.
So it's been a while. So I didn't really get to see any of how it was incremental. I went from one version of the game sort of to a totally different version of the game. And I gotta say, so many massive improvements even before 2.0 in terms of how they do like a lot of things. But I'm not like really what I realized at one point in doing gacha was that I just really wasn't the hugest fan of open worlds. And I have to say that has completely changed for me with the way Wuwa has done their open world, because I think the exploration aspect and the traversal is just so good. And I 100%ed the entire map. Somebody said that earlier, but yeah, I 100%ed the entire Renesita map before I even did the story. No, I mean it's kind of like a loser shit, because I did that shit all off stream just because I was in jail. I was just enjoying myself. I did it all off stream because I wanted to.
Hex has done more exploration than all of us combined.
Well, okay. To be fair, previous exploration abysmal. My previous exploration is absolutely embarrassing.
She's the true number one Kurobot now.
Yeah,
she's actually the biggest Kurobot here.
She's ascended.
I don't know.
You've ascended.
I 100% agree, though. Like with Breath of the Wild or Skyrim or just like any kind of open world game that I've been playing, I don't usually like go out of my way to explore everything. I like linear games. I like streamlined games. I like games that kind of go from point A to B. I like following a linear plot and kind of getting everything the developer kind of wants to stream into my brain, right? The writers or whatever. And definitely though with Renesita, it's definitely changed. More so just from like moving around. Moving around just feels really good. I really like it. I'm not still like paying attention to side quests or stuff, but
can I just say
moving around and playing is fun.
Can I just say, like, moving away from like obviously like Hex Juice is moving away from the story completely now. Like, I think if you look at what they've also added in terms of the actual map and the world of Renesita, I think the echo designs and the new implementations of
so good.
They're so good. Like my favorite is the 3 nights, Nocturnus Night, Darius Knight and the third one. And I love the that's it. And I love the third one. And I love the fact that it has its own lore like embedded in the world. I don't know if you guys have done it. I've spoken to a few of you about it. But there's like an actual like world exploration event. Heck, you've 100% of the world, so you've obviously done it. Where you get the swords and then you embed the swords in the stones.
That was
like,
so freaking cool.
Good.
The Crimson
really
Knight.
Like that whole story.
Crimson Knight.
The whole. And then
so
eventually you can get that skin for that Echo. I think in another exploration quest, which I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Phantom Echo.
But the fact,
so cool.
But the fact that they've got, it felt like. I don't know if all of you have played like the old Pokemon games, but it felt like when you have post game, there's like a post game sort of vibe to it, where you complete the main story and there's like a hidden element that you have to do post story. Obviously, that's how I felt. And when I got that on stream, I was like, I didn't even know this. Wait, they what? And then I read through the lore scriptures and I was like, the fact that they got through this much effort to implement this amount of lore and this amount of time into just the world of Renacita.
Amethyst
is insane.
Have you done the Order of the Deep Archives quest yet, where you meet an acolyte, and then you have to go? You're gonna like that. You're gonna like that. There was a lot of detail put into that whole. It was it's good, what you're saying as well. As an entire new area with the amount of effort they put into like designing this sub quest, because it's not even a main quest, it's a sub quest. Phenomenal. Like just like the bending of the reality was great.
That's where I think Hero have really evolved from their 1.0 release to 2.0. It does feel like a completely it's like a massive evolution and a massive expansion. I know it's not that. It feels like an expansion, and if anything, like a second game in the game.
It feels like a new game. Yeah, it feels like a new game to me.
Yes,
like, I don't like Wuthering Waves 1.0 on release. Like I just don't.
But that's how
I would recommend people actually skip to Renacita. I'm being so serious. I'm being so serious.
I kind of do agree. It's so good.
Yeah, it does feel like a separate game, and I feel like everything they've implemented, from the new echoes to the way the world looks to the 7 new areas that you fucking can go to. I mean, I got angry at a secret boss in like the Erd Tree area, the maze. I got mad, and I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck on it. I'm still stuck on it.
I'll clear it. Don't worry, I'll clear it.
I'm gonna.
Wait, the Lorelei.
Did you ever even finish Eldin?
No, but you know.
Did you tell me when I fucked with you on stream that was your last time ever playing the game?
Yeah, we stopped after that.
Hex ruined Elden Ring.
I bullied Ethan into quitting Elden. I'm sorry.
You actually ruined my experience. It is what it is. You can't ruin my Woo experience though. It's single player.
It was so funny though.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can I glaze Wuthering Waves really quick and
do it?
Absolutely.
Do it.
That's not allowed.
You've been doing that the entire call, buddy.
ZZZ, Hoyo Shell come in to become a Kurobot. Let's go.
Hell.
I think Wuthering Waves, Renacita. I honestly believe this, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts on this are as well. I do think that this sets a new bar for open world gacha games.
That's true.
I do.
Exploration specifically. Okay, because think about like Breath of the Wild, what that did for open world exploration. Skyrim, you can't scale walls, you can't scale mountains, right? You can't go anywhere. But that was the innovation that Breath of the Wild brought, and Genshin Impact would port it over to free open world gacha games, right? And now we have Wuthering Waves. I'll be honest, if there's an open world gacha game and I'm not like flying across the map or maybe swinging like a Nanta, I do think that's like an equivalent almost. But if I'm not flying across the map, it's going to be a shit game for me.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering for you guys, does this set a new standard?
Yes.
100%. I do not want to go and explore back and do my Hamza exploration in like the Jinjo area. I just don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. That's gonna stay at 43% forever. I am not going back. I'm sorry. I'm staying over the scene.
No, 100%. I really think this is the best open world gacha update we've had. I really do.
I actually also have some glaze around this because I think something about the traversal that was really special for Renacita for me is how thoughtful a lot of it was.
Yeah,
it's sort of like the way that it is thoughtful sort of actually requires them to play the game and to explore their own game a lot, because it's like, okay, there's like a lot of steps here. Let's put the kitty paw so that they can sprint up those steps. This area would be kind of difficult to traverse because it's got some verticality to it. We're going to add the bear hop thing.
The wing raise.
Yeah, where it'll be like steps.
Is so good.
Yeah, it'll have the bear hop. It would be a good place to fly here, and it would probably be really beautiful, but it would also help you get around longer. You got the wing rays, but it like the way that they are placed demonstrates that they do play their game to me, and that it's more about like providing a good experience for players, because that's probably how they would want to play their own game. And that's how I also feel about the exploration quests, how they did the map, the compass, like the menu where you can track things.
Yep.
And then 100% it. Like that was just, it was just gorgeous, because it's such a genuine quality of life for no reason. Because I don't think anyone would have asked for a lot of that kind of stuff. No. But they just do it because they want people to enjoy the experience of their games. And I really, really, really like it. So I just want to, that's like my biggest glaze, is I just think it's so thoughtful.
On that point of like everyone saying that they want the flight to be brought up to Huanglong Jinzhou, I get it. What I want them to do more is to bring up the same kind of like the exploration tracker thing, where like it sends you like, oh, you need to find this.
100.
I need that in Huanglong Jinzhou as well, because I have a lot of areas. I'm like, I've literally placed a loop mapper everywhere. I cannot find any more chests. I'm like, where the fuck are they? And like, same thing for the Sonnets caskets and everything else. I'm like,
they're puzzle locked. Someone said to me, they're puzzle locked. So there's hidden puzzles. It's annoying.
But finding the puzzles and finding the challenges is an absolute nightmare. Whereas in Rune City, you don't have that. It's like, oh, the puzzles around here, or the challenges around here. I'm like,
or even you enter a new area and they just tell you where the chests are. Right?
Yeah. If you can use your sonar to find the chest, whereas you can't do that in Huanglong. I don't know why.
Or with the things on the map as well, the icons and the chests and the little areas where it's like, oh, collect 5 chests in this little village.
Those ones.
That's so helpful, especially if you're trying to get some pools or something for free. You know, you just run around, you fly to the next one, keep doing it over and over again, and all of a sudden you got like a crap ton of pools, which is really helpful.
I need that in Huanglong as well.
One thing I will say as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Ethan, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, another thing that I think was amazing for the world of Renacita was the Nightmare Echo implementation. I think that's something that I loved. I like the fact that they've given these outdated 4-cost echoes a new breath of life with these new Sonata effects. That's another thing. New Sonata effects, which means new different ways to play, which means new different builds that we're going to get for our characters. And it's, I think, everything they've thought about. I agree with what Hex was saying. They've had to play their game and go, we need to improve this. So then Renacita, they've gone, well, there's a lot of traversal, there's a lot of land to cover here. Let's put the cap pause. Let's put everything here. Let's put everything strategically so they can get to everything, to the tracker, to the echo, to the echoes, to the missions. Everything they've done in Renacita just shows that these guys have clearly played the 1.0 version of their game and gone, we hear what you're saying. We're gonna listen.
Devs listen, yeah.
Oh my god! I don't want to be that guy. Oh no. So I just real quick, I don't want to be that guy. But the reason why I think it's so done well is like that's like their version of Saurians, but you don't have to find them. Like if I have to jump with the little homie, it's just right there. Or if I have to do the flying thing, I don't need to go around and find a Saurian to figure out where I need to go. They just give it to you, and you might say that's easy, but it's not even. It's just convenient. Oh, wireless.
Even the Saurians, they could just do everything that the playable characters do. The Saurians.
They literally just give it to me, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, but even the flying,
and also they don't lock it behind characters. Too.
They don't. No,
it's just there. Any character you want to play with, you can use it.
Yeah, like
the only exploration power or QOL that you can pull where it's like Carlotta has the gliding buff. You can.
It's not even that bad.
It's very minor.
You can just eat food that gives you the buff.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's real predatory because if I don't want to actually go get the recipe, I'd have to pull $350 worth of Carlotta. So actually, it's not good. Yeah,
it's easier just to swipe, right?
Yeah.
Has everyone got that?
I really like that Aurora is implementing quality of life changes. They make you want to play the game. They're like, hey, our game is good. We like our game. Here's things that will actually make you stick around and play it. Which is, I feel like in other gaches, it's kind of the opposite. They do everything possible to make you not want to explore their worlds, like Genshin does. You know what I mean? But in Wu, where they're like, hey, we're really proud of what we've done. Here are the tools for you to like experience that, and that is just like so cool. It's the best thing.
Another thing that what was I going to say? I've lost it. That's it. Sorry. One of the things that I think 2.0 have, like, for instance, we had the skins. You've got the event coming up for the Sunhua skin, which is completely free. It's going to be free to you. They've touched on multiplayer. Now I know some people don't really give a shit about multiplayer, and they're probably going to do it with randoms. But there's something that I've always wanted was multiplayer focus, and now the brand new multiplayer event has been dropped, and people have said it's pretty fun. It's good.
I haven't played it yet.
Like, plug it. People said it's good.
I haven't tried it, but multiplayer, even without that event, was really fun.
So, like
going around collecting echoes with your friends.
Yeah, and then you could ride the gondola together. I don't know.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Not only in town, but the outside gondolas too, and you could like. It's funny because the outside gondolas are really fast, so you're like drifting in the water, right? It sounds like you hear like the Eurobeat in the background playing. It's really funny. It's really fun.
I think the gondola needs to be tweaked.
See the gondola. Oh,
I was gonna say the gondola can only fit 2 people.
Wait, Age wanted to say something for like a million years though. Wait, what did you want to say?
Go for it, Age.
Oh, I don't remember what I want to say before. But for the gondolas, I did want to like bring this up before when we were talking about the world, like exploration and how nice it is. I feel like even just having the gondola also changes the experience of like that exploring that area so much, right? Because we can fly through the area, we can now like float on the sea through the area, and I think like they could have just done it in away, like they didn't have to put in the water, right? They didn't have to put in those boats in the city and allow us to actually sit on them. They could have just left it there like visually, and then we would, like swim or fly through it, right? Or fly over it. But they actually added in the boat itself, so it's like we can actually experience it as ourselves. Like we can, like it's more realistic, and then it helps with my immersion personally, because when like with open world games, I also don't really explore that much, and I was pretty like burnt out with Wuha and exploring before the Jinzhou area. But then just like playing through the story, unlocking all these new regions and seeing just how big the map is, alongside all the different ways I can explore the map, not just running around, but with all these different methods that they've implemented, it makes it just feels really fresh, and I feel excited to actually go and enter the world myself as a player.
I agree.
Like I can put my brain in it, I guess.
They've really put a lot into this.
That's what I wanted to talk about when we were still talking about like.
That's cool.
I was just gonna say the gondolas do need to be tweaked a little bit.
Look, I agree with you, Riku.
Because gondola, you can only fit 2 people in there, as far as I'm aware, and co-op has 3 people. I mean, they could at least like move. Yeah,
that's fair.
And they can't climb. So the gondolas can climb waterfalls. You can't do that in multiplayer. But you also can't.
Drags behind.
Listen, that guy just can fly around and just hover.
There's 1/3 wheel, is what he's saying. That's all. Has to be a third wheel.
But you also can't.
You can just fly around, okay?
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I like never use the gondolas ever because I can just fly.
Yeah, neither.
The flying is just so fun. Like I know we touched on it.
No, but you're right. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no, but
I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that could be tweaked and need to be fixed. I've actually got a full notepad out here with a list of like say 30 things that need to be changed. It wasn't perfect.
Devs didn't listen. Devs didn't. No. There are some things though, like the Echo XP needs to be
everything
changed,
I hate about Wuthering Waves.
Part 2.
You want to know how to fix your Echo XP problem?
Stop
roll
it.
Better.
Stop
it. Roll better.
I'm just stupid and greedy. I'm sorry.
We'll definitely we'll talk a bit more about the actual like gameplay and combat and how things have changed with Echoes as well a little bit. But I just want to quickly go finish off our like talking about immersion of the game, the music.
OST, yes.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Where's Mako Meatball? We need Mako Meatball in here.
Honestly, at some point we should probably get him in here.
Absolutely.
But like, I was about to say that. How many of you have done the Lorelei date?
Yes.
I did.
Wait, the what? The what?
The Lorelei.
You guys should go do it.
The Lorelei event.
Oh my god!
I
was blown away.
The Lorelei flight.
It's so good.
Oh my god, that cemented for me. I remember I was streaming when I was doing it, and I was just silent the whole time. I was just like taking it in, and I was like, this is like incredible. Like the amount of level and detail that I've went to with implementing the music is really well done. I think for me, I didn't give it like a 10 out of 10. I think the music's really, really good. But like, I feel like there isn't anything that particularly stands out as like one particular track that is like the track of Rinascita necessarily to me personally.
There was one
but the way they've implemented the music. Yeah, okay, Act 2 opening. No, absolutely 100%, 1,000,000%. That definitely stands out. but like as in going from like area to area wasn't like as whatever. But I think they've it's like night and day.
Can I say something that might ruin the Lorelai date thing for a lot of people?
No, because I know exactly what you're going to say. No, keep it quiet.
I know what you're going to say.
I know. Keep it quiet. Shut up.
I mean,
wait, what are you going to say? Wait, no, what are you going to say?
You know,
shut up.
I'll defend you, Ryuko. I'll defend you.
I mean, it's true.
As well.
It's like
you can shut up as well.
Yeah.
It's true, but it's like, yeah. We're high through the entirety of that.
I hate you so much.
It didn't happen. It was it was an illusion. It was just weird, like on an acid trip.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
I don't care if
it doesn't really. I enjoyed
it. It's all pretend, regardless.
I know.
I still enjoyed it.
A lot of people were convinced.
I was high.
A lot of people were convinced that was like actually in Lorelai. Oh, Lorelai's here. Why is Lorelai here? No, we're high, dude. We're completely high, which is fine. I don't mind it.
Mountains moved around us, of course. Like yes, like that's not that happened.
They thought that was Lorelai's power. They thought it was Lorelai's power. No, yeah.
Wait, we took a line.
Siren song that induces it, right?
We're high on mushrooms, dude. Like literal mushrooms.
Flower, like yeah, you were high, but
it's still nice.
I still think it's
it was real to me, damn it. It was real to me.
Your feelings for her are not real.
Because it's not really about like
my boner is.
It's the whole experience, right?
Okay. You're done. Put him in jail. Put him in jail. No, actually,
yeah.
Put him in jail.
Yeah, Ryuku jail.
No, put him in jail.
Not worth it.
PC.
No.
Put him in jail.
Mod server mute this guy.
Yeah.
If I didn't say it, someone else was going to.
No, we weren't.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
No.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that they were high. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What are we rating the Woo music? What are we giving it?
I'll give the music an 8 out of 10. I think it's a solid OST. I think other than like, there's 2 tracks that stick out for me: the opening of the Act 2, like Red New said, and the Montelli Bank. Is it the Montelli Bank or the Vault music where you're exploring it with? Yeah, that music specifically. I just very much enjoyed it. It felt that connected with me a lot. But other than the Lorelai event music, obviously, that's like a proper full-on song with lyrics and everything. That was really good. Someone came into my chat when I was doing that event, and they said like the way that sort of Lorelai event with the music, they got emotional because it reminded them of their like grandparents and shit, and they got spiritual. It's like
the lyrics. The lyrics are very sad.
The lyrics are really sad.
Yeah. And they got and that's and I was kind of like, oh, well, I'm glad you got to experience. I got to experience that with you. It's like it's a special moment, which was pretty cool.
It's good. I think it's solid 8.
Was Lorelai's boss fight music not impressive to anyone either?
Yes. I agree.
That was the best music. Boss fight music. Yeah.
Market Meatballs.
9.5.
I don't think there was anything like bad. Like there's nothing negative I could say about it. I just thought it was fucking great. I'm not gonna say it was my favorite OST of all time, but I think it was genuinely fucking amazing. Like I have nothing like 8 or like a 9. Like I thought it was great.
Yeah, it fit the vibe of what we needed when we were doing this.
Exactly, it fit the vibe.
Yes.
Absolutely fit the vibe, and that's all you could ask for.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to her music though. Is there like is there a special one for the story fight, or is it the same for the actual like fight itself when you like go to Farmer?
I think it's the same.
It's same.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's the same.
Okay, good. Because most people
Saint's
probably most people rotated her in the story, so they did.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's so
way too easy.
Way
too easy.
Someone told me you are the only creator I've seen who went to phase 2 for Lorelai in the story, and I was like,
someone told me to like fight her slowly. Someone told me to fight her slowly, and I still fucked it up.
Wait, what?
You're
I
think you're a tourist. I'm sorry.
I think for me, for the music, I think the thing that they did that I really enjoyed, first of all, I really like the exploration music. Like, it's kind of music that's been stuck in my head the last
I've been humming
several days. Like, yeah, well, it's just kind of stuck in my head. Like, sometimes when I really like music, I'll like dream about it. Like, it'll be like in my head playing when I'm dreaming, which is weird. I don't know if anybody else has that, but I've been like having it in my head quite a lot, and it's just nice. And usually, I get really irritated by in-game music, and I tend to mute it in like almost any game. But what I really liked is how they used music in the story to add to like how cinematic things were, because I think Wuwa's always done a really good job with the camera angles to communicate story and the body language with the models and stuff. But I think they did a really good job of like, okay, this is how you're supposed to be feeling in this moment. We have all of these other aspects, and then we also have music in the background kind of backing up that feeling, and I think they did a really good job with it. But I also think that there are a couple of banger tracks that aren't nearly appreciated enough in all of the little, like, all of those little ones where you're like high or whatever and you're doing silly shit with the echoes. All of those have really cute music. When you're doing the punches with the bear, the music is really fun. Like, there's so many little, like, random tracks that you barely ever even hear, but they're so good for no reason. They're so fun. They just have such a good vibe. And I really appreciate the level of effort put into all of that stuff, because it just makes it all feel like that immersion feels so good with all of the different music for different things. And also the little street lamps. That do their little song and dance. I love that so much. It's so cute.
Hex, on that point of like what people were saying, like things that they put in there that people didn't realize because they were like killing things too quickly, like Lorelei phase 2. Yes, she does have a phase 2. Also, with a lot of the echoes, if you get them down to like about 20% health and you leave them, they go in and start crying, and then they either heal you or they give you the echo. Like the same thing with all the teddy bears and like the sprite thing. It's like there's a lot of details in there that a lot of people just miss, but they did it anyway. And it's like, I really appreciate that level of detail that they put into the game.
There's so many things like that.
Yeah, Hex, your tweet about not wanting to kill them made me crazy.
No, that's how I found out about it.
So cute. They're so cute. But I did kill them. Don't worry. I've been struggling on my Carlotta build. They were going to die, but I like the little
Cobra Kai, show no mercy, boys.
Yeah, no, they did. No, in the clip, Carlotta's doing the idle animation where she's like looking at her different guns because she knows exactly what it's about to be. The second I stop recording, the Echoes doing their little cute shit. But there's so many examples of the Echoes doing cute little things all over the map. Like there's ones where the little magician guys are like playing with their little like magic balls, whatever they are, like little magic puffs. There's one where it looks like, I guess, the little magician did something naughty, and the big teddy bear's like yelling at him and like being angry with him. So cute. Like there's so many little things with those, and it's like those are so unnecessary, but it's just so nice it just feels so immersive and cute and real to see the Echoes kind of having interactions with each other.
It makes the world feel alive.
Rather than it's just like this is an area where enemies spawn. Yeah, it's so cute. I really like it.
Speaking of Echoes, sorry, go.
I was gonna say, like, I really think Renacita has its own character, has its own personality that it adds on. Whereas for me, and I don't know if maybe Ryuku disagrees, I think Huanglong was dead. It felt desolate. It felt dead to me, but not in a very like engaging way for me.
The world is boring.
There are some cool parts. There are some really cool parts to it, but most of it just didn't feel very good to me. I feel like Renacita definitely has like this vibrancy, this sort of life to it, the personality, and I kind of want to understand, like, from everyone's perspective, like how they feel. Wuthering Waves going in this direction, if this was like worth it, if it was good, if it was like a good move, I guess.
100%.
Like in terms of the world?
Was good. In
this direction, because it's different.
Yeah.
It's totally different. And I feel like the first hint to me that told me like they could pull this off, and I'm looking forward to Renacita in 2.0, where how that was sort of justified in my brain was when I saw Encore's companion quest and how they displayed the Woolly Kingdom. Because the Woolly Kingdom has a lot of that type of elements to Renacita. And so I thought, yeah, I'm ready for like a fresh kind of brand new take of this world.
Redney, what you just said is blasphemous to a certain someone's ears, and it does like
Ryuku hates Encore.
Hates Encore.
I think it was fucking stupid.
The Woolly Kingdom was good.
No, there was so many fucking things wrong with that.
Quest. I thought it was the best companion quest. Ryuku, you are wrong. No. You were just wrong. I'm sorry. You were just wrong. It was a great quest.
My baby child.
If you turn your brain off, then sure, it's pure sentimentality, but it's got nothing under the fucking.
You are miserable. I'm sorry, Grabs. You were just a miserable man.
No, okay,
I'm sorry. Heart, bro. What is this? You're scaring the hose. What?
The parts I like the most. The parts I like the most is when we have that the heartfelt talk about with Encore in the Garden of Paradise. I think it's which is like me, us, and Encore. Encore's talking about her, how she was with her mother. I love that, and at the ending scene as well. I love that. I'm not heartless. The thing that I hate the fucking most about that was what's her name, Ling, the other girl.
You're heartless.
I thought she was fucking useless. Yeah, whatever her name is. No, she was useless. Useless and pointless. Useless and fucking pointless. And she brought up so many more like plot holes and issues with that story than was fucking necessary. She was absolutely useless. No. The best part about Encore's story was Encore. No, I liked the part of Encore. Encore and Rover, their interaction, fine, great. This fucking random NPC, don't give two fucks about. Useless. Get her the fuck out of here.
I think Ling was important though for like Encore to be the part of her personality to kind of showcase is her kind of like having already half moved on from it and being that bigger sister, right? And Ling is like that version of her that like of her in the past, like having those feelings and dealing with that same trauma.
So you're telling me, Ryuku, at the end scene where she was reunited with her mum, you didn't feel anything towards that character?
Encore? Yes. This character couldn't give two fucks about.
Damn.
Oh well, then
wait. So
why should I care?
I think.
Damn. Okay.
Wait. Before we get too sidetracked, I think let's focus on the initial point of: do you think this direction is good? No, you're good. No, to go back to your point, I think this direction is very good because it shows that the devs are very versatile and they can deliver a very hard, like looking rough place and something that looks absolutely fucking beautiful. I think PGR, at least for me, I've been told that, oh, the game is so fucking dark, everyone dies, yada yada yada, whatever the case may be, and so everyone had that expectation for WoA, and I actually really like the fact that they can show, hey, listen, motherfuckers, like we can make things look beautiful as well, but still have dark tones, really good storytelling. Actually, I think the best storytelling. Like, I think it just shows, like, to me, I have way more faith in them now than I've ever did before after them delivering Renacida. So I think this is a very good change because it just shows, hey, we're fucking tapped in. Like, we know what's happening.
They're actually we could see that they care about their game.
Yeah.
They actually care. They are legitimately listening to feedback and they're implementing things people have been saying.
Well, I think that even implementing. I think they're implementing stuff that wouldn't even necessarily been in feedback, and that's what I also really like. Because like it never would have occurred to me to give feedback on the resonance caskets being in the middle of the air and wanting to be able to just tether to them directly. Not like anybody really would have, like, I guess maybe it's like Genshin trauma, but it never would have occurred to me that I didn't have to like dick around trying to float in the right direction to get the stupid resonance caskets.
Oh my god, yeah.
But the fact that you can tether directly to them, and they immediately also refresh your stamina, your flying stamina, if you don't know that. Which is so nice, and that's such a nice, like, thoughtful detail. And actually, because so many things do refresh your stamina, there's actually, I've heard this, I haven't tried it, but that you can actually fly across basically the whole entire map without ever touching the ground with the
caskets,
the rays.
That's great.
With the rays, just the rays, because those also refresh your stamina. So if you know where all of them are, you can just fly to each of them and just fly forever, which I think is it's just so nice. It's just so thoughtful.
Do you guys think they should add something in there, because after you get rid of the caskets, because you collect them all, like you can't really do that? Do you think they should like add like energy orbs in the air so you can actually do that if you find them?
I would love that.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think that would be nice.
Yes. Guys, the survey's out. Put it in the feedback.
I think that's a very realistic change, right? I think that's a very realistic change. I feel like when we give feedback, I know this might be a little bit sidebar, but like we have to like think of feedback on like the grounds of realism as opposed to like just take away the 50-50 and stupid shit like that. And I think that's something they could easily do.
Useful feedback.
I want 5 free 5 stars.
Yeah,
man.
you know what I mean?
Every patch.
Like, yeah. Like
I also feel like they're going to add flying to the previous regions. Just like knowing the devs, I feel like that's definitely something.
I don't think they will.
If they want people to play the 1.0 stuff, they kind of have to.
They should.
To be honest.
I don't think so.
No,
I firmly don't.
But they should if they want people to actually.
No.
Oh yeah, if it's possible, if it's within their means, they absolutely should. Yeah.
Technically,
disagree with that.
They definitely can. I mean, they've already got the technical aspect in there as well. They've got the Z-axis as well. They don't need to change anything. They just need to make it available. I think the reason why they haven't allowed it so far is because a lot of the puzzles, a lot of the stuff in Huanglong Jinzhou area requires you to practice double jumps and grapples. So the reason why they haven't done that so far is to force people to actually get used to the mechanics of like using your character. I think what they should do to like combat to satisfy both people is like once you get past a certain point of the exploration in an area, say 50%, 75%, whatever it may be, then it's okay, now flight is unlocked in this specific area, and then that way they could do both.
I don't see it.
I think it was like, did they know what bugs they would get and stuff?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I don't see that about the because it's one thing to have flight in a region that was designed from its conception, like to have flight, and it's another thing to re-implement and like kind of shoehorn flight into a region that wasn't designed for flight at all. And there's like bugs, there's out of bound errors, there's a lot of things that you can kind of introduce into your already like well-made product by putting something else in there. And I know like there's like actually I don't know if I should mention that, but yeah, no, I feel like going back on code
they could allocate the resources somewhere else.
Asking for a disaster.
Yeah,
I
100%.
think that all of those are very good points. I will say that as you're trying to get new players into the game, it is a little bit of a problem that the early areas don't have that utility because it is such a huge quality of life thing to be able to fly.
Exactly.
And so I hope that there is some way that they can find where there's like a middle ground there, because not having it at all, coming in as a new player and seeing everybody zipping around and having this like more an easier experience of exploration. And most people are casual players who care about exploration a lot more than sweaties who roll their echoes, you know? And so like it won't be the best for newer players if they don't go back and find at least some middle ground where they make it easier to get around. But I also understand where y'all are coming from, where it's inevitably it's going to have more bugs. It's not actually built for the verticality and stuff. So there's like both, but like, because like, yes, they can skip pretty early on, but a lot of people care about the story, and a lot of people do want to get their exploration done, and they do want to see everything that leads up to Renacida. And maybe they finish Renacida and then they want to go back and go, oh my God, how did all of this get here? And then it's just like such a objectively shittier experience early on. And so like, I hope that they can find some in between.
The new player experience is the most important for the longevity of these games, because people are playing already, they're going to continue to play. But if you want to get more, if you want to continue to grow, you need to focus on new players as well. Like if their first few hours of playing game are not fun and not enjoyable, again, this exploration stuff here does make it a lot more easier, a lot more enjoyable to get around. If they don't implement these kind of changes to make the new player experience a lot more enjoyable than what it is currently, I mean, I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it, but I know a lot of people didn't. That's why I'm thinking about them as well. If they do not implement these changes, it'll be really, really difficult, because getting to the point where you can skip after Act 3, that's already a good 3 or 4 hours. And still, I don't think a lot of people would give it the time of 3 or 4 hours. Like, okay, I've been here for like 2.5 hours and still this kind of boring shit, in their opinion, maybe. And then they'll just log off and not play the game anymore. So they won't get to that point where they can get to the good stuff, unless they've been promised by some friends saying, oh, just stick with it. But I think they should just go back, because it's only been one area. They could easily go back and retrofit a lot of stuff. It's not that much.
To be fair, though, I think again, I'm just speaking for myself, right? And at least for the people that in my chat that I deal with, not all of them, but like, I think we are being a little. I think the 1.0 experience is buns. I think that the beginning of this gacha game is honestly probably the worst, in my opinion. I really believe that. But I will say, I don't think the exploration prior to Renacida was horrible, though. You know, I think a lot. I'm going to ask you why in a moment. But so I feel like a lot of the exploration, like we had the free hook, we could run up on walls, we're able to grapple. I definitely think the loot mapper is fucking ass, right? I feel like that exploration like bar and Renacida is amazing, but I also think like the movement and stuff is pretty solid. Like I feel like it got heavily praised. Right? Yes.
I also am raising my hand. You can't see, but
I completely disagree. I even watched your video, Ethan, about the movement between like Genshin and Wua. And for sure, Wua has much more quality of life. Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like, but even when you were recording in that video and it was edited, your wall clambering and wall running is buggy. And like I've never liked how wall running felt in Wua. Like
that's fair.
Record, I've
fair.
Never liked it at all.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's as bad. I think we're spoiled because we've experienced Renacida. But I also think, but I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Right? I do think it's still objectively like better than the competitor. So I do just want to stick up for 1.0 a little bit.
So I would like to say that again, we're talking about new players, right? So new players are going to be coming in looking at Renacida ads.
True.
Which you might see my face on one of them, which is really cool.
But
yeah,
I've seen it.
But yeah, they're gonna be seeing the Renacida ads. They're gonna see people zooming around. They're gonna be seeing all of those QOLs that we currently have, and then they're going to get into a game that is just not doing that for them. And so that is the sticking point. I think that's where there's like a bit of friction there, where they're coming in most likely because this is true for gachas. Like when they do a big update, there's a lot of influx of players. They're coming from seeing Renacida looking like insane, obviously, and the traversal being very different to what they will actually be experiencing when they join the game. And then there's also the other issues which have been talked about more than enough, more than enough. And so that's kind of where my concern is, because we're talking about new players. We're not talking about people that, they know this, they know that, they understand this, they understand that. You're asking understanding from people that have no loyalty or give two fucks about any of this. That's why I think it is important that eventually there is some middle ground where they're going back and redoing some of it, because if the game just keeps getting better and better like it is, they're only going to be seeing that as the advertising, right? And then they're going to be like, well, what is this? Even if it is obviously not that bad, right? It's mid compared to what we have, but it's not that bad. But they're coming in thinking that they're getting all of that other shit, and they're just not.
I feel like they're gonna get scammed a little bit. Let's be real. Like they really, they see all these things on the internet and on Twitter that they play, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's not as good. Like Ethan said, we've been spoiled. I do think that. Like we have now been spoiled.
Age wants to say something.
I just want to say, because like on that point, I completely agree for the new player experience too, because sorry to bring up Zenless, but one thing that they constantly do is that they will go back and honestly, even like without us asking in the feedback, for the most part, I would say they will go back and change things from the earlier parts of the game that just make the experience so much better. Like QOL that we get in like current patches, they will by themselves retroactively go and fix over time. Like sure, they might not release it all at once, but like on like the future patches, like now and then, they'll just say like, oh yeah, by the way, we also fixed like these 10 things from the first few chapters. And then we're like, oh damn, okay, like it doesn't affect me because I'm currently further in the game, but it must be like a very nice experience for the new players who are coming in, and then they don't have to deal with like some of the, for example, the TV system specifically for that, right? A lot of people like when the game first released, you're kind of forced to play it, and then now they've like done the bug fixing, they've like patched out a bunch of things that have just kind of improved the experience, and yeah, like it is like important for this too. Oh, sorry, what do you say?
They also just gave you a different way to do it, like rally mode and the Marcel Maze, the Fall Guy, the Bang Boo Fall Guys, right?
Yeah. We all have our
like it is different.
We all have our complaints against Hoyoverse, but the thing is that they are really focused and they are very smart. They know what they're doing, and they know that the new player experience is the biggest thing. That's why they go back to your point, Age as well, because the new player experience going through HSR, fantastic. I loved it. Like the Hertz Space Station, the Billabug, loved it. Everything after that, fuck no. And same thing with ZZZ as well. Like the new player experience, like the first hour or something, it was really interesting. All these animations, the manga comic style, the storytelling was fantastic. And then I dropped it because it got bogged down in TVs. So I'm looking forward to going back. That's what I'm saying. With all these things that they're bringing in Reseat as well, they don't have to. I'm like, no. They do have to go back. Crew needs to go back.
I agree with all of you.
They have to, because the new play experience is the most important part. I don't care what anyone says, it is.
No, I agree.
Can I say two things?
No.
I think first I want the audience to kind of like recognize the monumental like sort of circumstances that Zenless Zone Zero kind of took upon itself to do that, though. I feel like it's a big task to kind of rework your entire game from chapter 1 to 3 from the beginning, right? But I also kind of want to pose a question, and maybe Saint can weigh on this, because I would actually like to know his opinion. Would you be in favor, if we're like pretending like we could be advocating for change, would you be in favor of moving the skip earlier to Renacida?
Earlier?
Yeah, because that's 1.3
earlier, because there's a skip, right? Or am I?
Yeah. I believe it's at the end of like
Act 3.
Act 3.
So that's like
the first 3 acts are like the worst.
That's exactly. That's what everyone's saying as well. That's the worst part.
Like, who is in favor? Like, would you be in favor of like moving that skip earlier? And if so, then when? I guess.
After Act 1. After Act 1. The first 3 acts, I would include the 4th, I think are fucking horrendous. I've said in my first review of the game, get through the first 8 hours and you'll be good, but I understand why people drop it. I think it fucking sucks. Like straight up, I just don't think they'll ever fix it. Personally, maybe I'm being a pessimist, but Yeah, fucking after the first act 1, let them skip to it, or until whenever you can unlock convenes and you get Baiji and whatever. I think that is after Act 1.
It's in Act 1.
Yeah, let them go, like, because that's their peak content.
I kind of want to hear what saying things too, like about like moving the skip earlier, just because like I know he's been like a huge advocate and loves the game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you guys are. I mean, I might be in the minority here. It sounds like I am. It's like wasn't that bad.
Yeah, no.
I didn't mind it.
The academy part.
It was fine.
They're saying like, me and you're in the same boat.
No,
I'm here.
I'm here
too. You guys
too.
are talking about it like you're literally like taking
story-wise,
like suffering and taking like mental fucking damage from playing 1.0.
It's not that bad.
It's like it wasn't that bad.
From the story.
Like somebody's gonna fucking like play 1.0 and then immediately just like force quit the. I don't think it's that bad. Genuinely.
But yeah.
Hex, sorry.
Nah.
I think that is a little bit, how do I say? Like minimizing what we're actually talking about to say it's like, oh, it's just suffering. I never said that it was just suffering. I enjoyed Wuwa immensely and was a massive Kuro bot at the release and prior to the release of the game. Like that's like, most of y'all know me from that shit. Or some fuck ass drama that doesn't really matter that much. But like I've been a huge advocate and one of the biggest Wuwa defenders for like I was always doing that. I've always been a huge I was dude, and I was having to use your content to help me with that shit, Ryu. I don't know if you remember all that, but like I don't think by any means that it was like suffering and god awful and all of those things. I'm saying that the comparison to what they will see versus what they will get will be a problem the longer the game goes on. And personally, I think that making the skip come earlier is a little bit of a shortcut and a little bit of a cope to work that I think is important. I've also talked about the importance of the new player experience in gacha games for a really long time. And everybody always wants to minimize that. But especially in an open world game that is live service and continuously developing, it is important to have a really solid new player experience, because you will bring in new players if you bring in new things that are interesting to people. I don't think it is fair to say that everyone's like, oh my god, it's just so dog shit. There are parts that definitely needed work, but like it's more about long term how that the comparison is not going to be flattering to the beginning part of the game, and that is important to get new people in.
I think
and I'm not saying that like any person in particular was saying that. It's more so just like the whole
personally.
like Ethan literally
Ethan and Red,
I was saying that. So it's like it's not like I'm specifically trying to call anybody out for being like that with the story, right? It's just like a matter of, I think the idea of it, like I would rather they just do like a revamp of the story of the Act 1.0 story, make it shorter, condense all the rewards into like I don't know, like less hours, and then just remove the skip altogether. Keep 1.3 and 1.4 as is, because 1.4 doesn't even have a fucking story quest. I think if people got through Act 1 and like everything in Act 1, and I think 1.1 is perfectly fine. It's really like that's the thing, right? Having the skip so early on means that you don't get 1.1 or 1.3, which are good.
Great.
Like they're good.
Wait, I think you can still go back though. No, I think if you skip,
you can go back.
I know, but the storytelling is segmented.
Okay, no, I thought you meant like legitimately they don't get it. Okay.
Yeah, no, they do get it, but it's like they'll do 2.0 and then do 1.1 and 1.3 afterwards, right? At some point. But it's like those are good. Like Firmament is good. Everything in 1.1 is good. 1.3 is also good. And so I think the best experience, honestly, would just be at some point removing the skip, condensing down the 1.0 main story into like just a shorter and better version of it. Because like, you know, I think they could do it. And I don't know, just like going from there versus whatever, like I having like an earlier skip. They should just like rework the entire story so that, I mean, just like speed up the time to get to, basically speed up the time it takes to see Scar. I think it'll be fine.
Remove a lot of the fat.
Yeah. Like it's everything before Scar. I really liked like from Scar and then Act 5, even though it was like super short, Act 5, and then Act 6 was also pretty cool. Like the attempt at the Avengers thing in Act 6 was kind of goofy because you don't really know any of the characters, but
I like
but it was still like pretty solid to experience. But like I think like my main issue with it was the story for Act 1 to 3. They were obviously trying to introduce the world, but they just like spent way too long making us sit through dialogue after dialogue of exposition, and I just did not have fun playing that. I just wanted it to be over.
Going back, it wasn't. So can I just it wasn't that long, but it felt long because I went back and actually looked at how long it wasn't. Long, it just felt long. So I need to like tell it a lot better. So Amethyst, please.
I was just going to say, like I think what Sentonta said would be the best course of action, because I didn't think 1.0 story was bad. I mean, I've spoken to almost each and every single one of you about this. You guys know my opinion. I actually really enjoyed the majority of 1.0, but I'm in the minority, and I enjoyed it for what it was, though it is not without its flaws. There are elements where I was sitting there and going, okay, this could be done a lot better, because now I'm kind of feeling a little bit of a drag, and I'm kind of feeling like the jargon and this conversation didn't need to happen. But I think 1.0 story, I enjoyed. I thought it was good. And then when you go to 1.1 was really fucking good. And 1.3, in my opinion, was really fucking good.
Had a lot of problems.
I have issues with 1.3 too. But
it was way too fast. The pacing on that was breakneck speeds.
But at the end of the day, like I think about 1.0, where it's like just revamp the first couple of acts to get to the end part of 1.0 quicker, but don't this whole skip button thing make it no. I don't think you should make the skip button right at the start.
I don't know about that. I actually think you should still keep it.
100%.
I think if you take away an option from the player, I think that's just bad, right? Because at the end of the day,
I'm saying if you were to do it, that if you I want to, if it was up to me, I'd keep it the way it is. I keep 1.0 the way it is.
No, of course.
But
I don't think he's talking about the skip button, chat. He's talking about skip to Renacita.
Yeah. Skip button.
Not skip button
that's
itself.
what I meant. No. But I know you like you said it and Saint said it. Like you agree. I think you should still keep it there. I think you should still give the player the option. Some people just want to play WoW for the combat because it's fucking cool. You know.
Speaking
and Renacita exploration
options.
So like I'm hearing like, and I really want to. I actually want to ask Hex. You're in favor of them like kind of in effect if they do revamp it, right? You are extending the time to get to Renacita and removing the skip because Saint's suggestion was to remove the skip too, right?
Removing the skip, I don't personally agree with because I remember being in Genshin and being in that position of like, oh, there's a new character. I really want to build this new character. Can't get to that fucking region though. Got to spend 20 hours to get to that region because it's been a couple years, that
got
sucks.
Early access and conversion for everything though.
True.
Yeah, that does help, but
you can literally get everything you need.
I think options to players is important. Right? Yeah, I think options for players is important.
I'm thinking why not both?
What I do agree with is condensing and sort of cleaning up that Act 1 or the first part of the story, especially 1 through 3. Act 1 through 3 were rough, and then just making that whole beginning experience a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more in line with what people expect from what they see from clips now. And then, I don't agree with just taking away the skip to Renacita at all, just because I think having that option is valuable to players, and there's no reason to take it away. People will either choose to do that or not, and that's up to them.
This might be a bit of a...
should do then, if that's a viewpoint. Make the duration of currently Act 1 to Act 3. Make Dreamless the end of Act 3, and then offer the skip.
I think that's fine. I think reworking the whole thing and condensing it and really just making it 1, 5, and 6 and really like just putting the other bullshit together is fine. But I just think getting rid of the skip is bad. Like I don't see any reason like a positive of getting rid of that.
Do you know what they could do? Just as a thought.
EOS?
Not EOS. Like they could just have a movie mode. Well, you could just watch the
recap, like a recap,
Literally, you just watch the cutscenes, and then and you could just like watch that, and then you could just go to Renacita
and move the skip earlier.
Move the skip earlier and have a movie recap, and then they're fine. And then if they want to go play the game, they can go play. Do you know what I mean? I think that could
literally just have Rove. You could literally, that's a good idea. You could literally, if you do want to go skip to Renacita story, you could do like
a TLDR.
you could do like have Rover sort of, if you want to go for the recap, have like a 4 to 5 minute recap of Rover just going over what's happened up until that point, and then you turn up at the start of 2.2. Oh, if you want. That way, it's like a 5-minute recap. You know the story. You're visually seeing cutscenes while Rover's monologuing and telling you what's going on. Okay, cool. Now let's go.
Has anyone actually seen the recap of like what would happen if you click on the skip button? No. Okay, I have, and they do that.
I know, like they just do the.
I love the skip button.
Sometimes.
Oh, wait, no,
I mean, the story skip button, like to skip to Rinasita. They do have a recap. I've seen that as well. Okay. No, they do.
Recap, yeah.
And
cool.
My thoughts on this as well is that I think they should keep the skip to Rinasita thing, but I also want them to rework the 1.x storylines, like shuffle a few things around and all that. I want them to make it an option to skip to Rinasita, but I want them to also rework everything to make it to the point where people say you can, but don't. I want them to do that.
Yeah.
I want them to 100%. Do that.
Yeah. Would recommend you play the 1.0 story, but if you want, you can. Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to conclude maybe the new player experience feedback a little bit. Like, make it better so people will stick around. I think that's really what we're getting at, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I agree. That's amazing.
But keep the skip for me. That's my stance.
Keep it.
Awesome. I want to ask basically one more question. How many of y'all have done hologram 6s yet?
I can't
I've been promoted to Eastern CC. I've cleared all of them.
How many are Eastern CCs? Hex, you and Eastern CC?
Hex hasn't even done it.
I'm legit Eastern.
Listen. I took a couple months off. My stats are crazy. I'm working on it. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard to catch up.
Excuses.
Hex juice will like hex excuses. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I've done 5 of almost all of them. I've done working on it.
With Carlotta, I've done every 6 in 1.0. She made it so much easier for me. I think a couple of you watched. I think as you watched me do like Inferno Riders, like I did a bunch of 1.0's holograms with just Carlotta and my main team, and it was like, okay, she's just making it easy. With the new 2 holograms, I've done Fallacy of No Return, but I'm stuck on the 6th difficulty of the new boss.
Sentry.
Sentry.
Yeah.
I haven't even touched that. Like, I got so annoyed with Fallacy. It was just like
Fallacy's harder, bro. I promise you.
I think Fallacy. Fallacy
is harder. Fallacy is much harder.
You think?
Fallacy is a fucking.
I think it depends what characters you use. To be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
at Camellia team.
Fallacy is also a little free if you have Carlotta, in my opinion. I think it is a little easier.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I think people are struggling with the new one because you don't have Carlotta. But the new one's not that bad. Like I think Inferno Rider is still the hardest, truthfully.
No, I agree. I actually agree.
It's fucking ass. Yeah.
Like Inferno Rider with his whole fire pits of
meteor,
doom, like
too many visual effects. Like but the new ones, they're really fun. They're really really fun. I don't think they're the worst thing of all time. They're very doable. And again, I really think that Fallacy is free if you have Carlotta, but they're dope.
Yeah, because I agree with you, because I got really lucky with my summons, and I got
what's that phase?
That's because Ryuki hates when I talk about it.
Amethyst, shut the fuck up, bro. Seriously. Skip.
Wait, what's that face saying? What happened?
Oh, sorry, I'm rolling echoes right now.
Brilliant.
Make sure to only go to 5 so you don't waste any XP.
Yeah, do you know how to do the do 5 2 and 1s method, Saint?
Yeah, just make sure. Yeah, don't run out of tuners either.
I actually want to know, because I feel like for all the people in this room, I'm pretty sure Saint is probably the more competent in combat, right? For the game, I kind of want to know.
Excuse you?
Is Fallacy harder? Is what is it called? The other one?
Sentry
harder?
Yeah.
Right?
It's a character matchup. So basically, depending on who you're using, a boss is going to be harder than the other.
Because the resistance they have.
Yeah.
No.
Also, the movesets.
It's simply the movesets that they have and the character that you could be using to fight them.
Yeah.
For example, like the Fallacy gets broken fucking easily. Like you will literally break him like without even trying during the fight. The Sentry, on the other hand, doesn't get broken very easily at all. It takes like a bunch of like intro skills and parries to break it. And so depending on like who you are using in the fight, Like there are some characters, right, that don't give a fuck about really breaking because they're just gonna be doing damage all the time, like Jinsei. And if you use that against the construct, it's gonna be like whatever, because like the shit flies around. You just wait for it to come next to you, and then you just dragon puke on it, and it's like whatever, you don't care.
Dragon puke.
And so like I don't give a fuck, right? But if you're using like Gion, right, and then the bitch starts flying, you're like, okay, now I just use my liberation. Now I'm just sitting here holding my dick for like 10 seconds, and you can't do anything, right? While on the other hand, right, if you're using like Gion against the fallacy, you just break his ass and then go to town for like whatever, and it's one of the easier fights for him. While, you know, if you're playing somebody, I guess, like Jinsei, you're gonna get fucked up by the fact that your air dodges feel like weird when you start
very floaty
little orbs and stuff, right? And you're just like, oh fuck, I can't dodge correctly because I'm higher up in the air, and so the orbs take less time to reach me. And so you have to dodge in like a different cadence in that fight compared to somebody on the ground. So it's really just like a character matchup. Some characters are going to feel a lot easier to use against some of the holograms, and some characters are going to feel harder to use against some of the the other ones.
I did ask you, Saint, if you could help me with my fucking builds. Never got back to me.
I got the advice for you. Just roll better, bro.
Roll better.
All right, Amethyst, I got you, brother. Just play Genshin.
We can check it out sometime. We can check it out sometime, anytime.
And really to kind of like top it off, how many of you have done a TOA right now? How many of you done the tower?
Ones, bro.
Haven't done it.
Yes.
Not bothering.
Okay, so you guys are all you guys
so
all
why don't any of you do the end game? Just
no,
genuinely curious. Well, apart from Ethan and Sage, we know you guys.
Because for me,
why don't you guys do it?
The real end game is Elusive Realm. Fuck Tower of Adversity.
Yes.
I love Elusive Realm.
It pisses me the fuck off that they take it out for whatever fucking reason when all they need to do is just keep the same theme as whatever it was and just renew the rewards per patch.
Wait, hold on. Can we get like an actual answer though to why people don't do TOA? Like, I genuinely want to know. I'm not being facetious. Okay, so
boring.
You think it's boring?
Like even I try it, and I'm not like the biggest fan.
Like, I try it. I try it to get as many rewards as possible, but I'm just not good enough at the game to get to where I need to go. Like I'm just not good enough. So I'll do like the first tower. I'll do that for the first 3 floors, and I might not, and then I get to the middle tower, and I'm like, I'm struggling.
I've always kind of thought that as a point, like for Wuwa, like the fact that sometimes some people might come across like a skill issue, let's say when they get to the tower, and they have that as a thing, and then they don't feel motivated to actually get good at the game. I think that's what it is. I think TOA is like a roadblock for a lot of people, where it's not enough. They're not incentivized enough to get good. So how do you think we can change that?
More rewards.
I feel
well, I was just gonna say it's not a roadblock for me because I just don't play it.
Yeah. Why don't you
do the things that I find fun.
So why don't you find it fun?
Because my Shan Liao is level 80 with like a level 60 weapon, and I don't like starting things that I don't think, in my mind at least, that I have a really good chance of doing. So I just don't. I just don't bother with it.
No, that's fine.
Okay, what is the real point of doing a Tower of Adversity besides bragging rights? What's the benefit?
Rewards.
It's just rewards. It's just rewards.
The rewards aren't even besides if you asked right. There's not really that.
Well, okay, hold on, wait. I'm gonna defend the mode, and I hate the mode, right? I really don't. I don't think it's good, but it's just another outlet of combat. Because if I'm going to, I don't have fun just stomping on everything in the open world, and Depths of the Elusive Realm is gone for the next 30 or 40 days. What am I gonna do? I want to play the game. I'm going to go into tower. Now, I think the tower's buns, and especially this one. I really think it sucks. So I'm not saying it's good, but why are you doing it? Because the combat's fun. I get more enjoyment out of the holograms.
Same.
But also, you know...
I kind of want to just clarify, like, for me, it's like, I'm not advocating for, like, getting rid of it or even changing it.
No, of course.
I'm just saying I don't, for me.
Yeah, you'll dabble into it eventually when you feel ready enough to actually go in there instead of just trying to forehead your way through. Is my assumption. That's how I interpreted what you said. Yeah, and that's fine. Age, like, is there any reason in particular? Is it just like it's fucking boring, or like, what do you?
I think in this call, I'm probably the most casual player just as a whole. Like I play lots of gacha games, but the way I play is very different from a lot of people. I don't really care that much about combat and like end game stuff. For me, the thing I care about most is generally story and just, I guess, farming pulls to pull later. And then I'll like do the combat if it's fun. But like for Wuwa specifically, I have been kind of more just a super casual player. Like I did Tower of Adversity when I first started, but then I found it boring because to me it just kind of felt like it was the Genshin Abyss 2.0, like with harder combat. And the combat in what is more fun, 100%, but I didn't care enough about the time I would have to sink into it for the amount of rewards I would get. Like, and also if I want to play harder combat again, I would also just play the holograms in WUA instead. So like, I guess that's my perspective as a more casual player and someone who doesn't care as much about trying to get really good at the game. And yeah, that's the reason why I don't really.
I think that's fair.
I think holograms are really the way to actually get good at the game. True. Like I genuinely think that like holograms are the best.
Wrong.
If you have a skill,
no. I think you're wrong.
I think it's actually the complete opposite.
No,
holograms have such super loose, clear requirements that you can kind of just do whatever the fuck you want as long as you dodge, and you'll clear the game mode. That's kind of just holograms. You do whatever the fuck you want and just dodge, and you'll clear it.
Well, you need to attack as well. There's a time limit on there.
Okay, and whatever the fuck you want implies you're attacking, not just sitting there.
I think you can get good at doing both. I think it's just a matter of preference. Like it's one, you can not like you can't use like Changli on Inferno Rider, but in this tower, you know, you're gonna struggle way more if you use Camilla or Zheng Liao in the middle tower. Is it possible? Yes, but it's fucking, you know, it's just down to preference. I think I don't think it's that deep. It really is whichever one. I don't think anyone.
It tests different things. TOA, because it has a much stricter time limit to clear, basically tests like your ability to rotate through your characters and like basically build team comps and have synergies. In holograms, it's just a dodge check. That's all holograms are.
The only way I said that is because I'm just going off my own anecdotal evidence. After doing hologram 6s on the new ones, I've just become better at playing the game.
Same.
So I'm only using that as my point of reference, genuinely. Like after throwing my head at a wall for however long it took, I feel like, and that was fun for me, and I got the enjoyment, and I learned things from that. I then apply it in like other areas. So I think that's why I came really to that conclusion. I'm not just trying to talk out my ass. I feel like I'm just going by my own experience in that aspect.
No, yeah, going from fighting like a Imperin 6 in a hologram and then fighting the TOA feels completely different, right? Like you feel like you can just eat that motherfucker's ass.
I'm really talking about the newer holograms, to be honest, like the new two ones.
Oh, the new ones, yeah.
Like after doing those, I feel like I can do anything.
I think it depends on where you're at in the game, I guess, like skill level wise, or where you're needing sort of like development, right? Because I think it would be like, hey, if you're like having trouble with like dodging or like handling an onslaught of attacks, then hologram like puts you through the ringer for that, right?
I think I have a little bit of a different perspective on TOA and the holograms, because I would say I'm actually a really relatively casual player where like I don't really care about having perfected builds and stuff, but I do like the aspect of gacha games that is centered around building teams, building characters, and making them stronger. And what I like about TOA is it feels very much a sort of benchmark of my progress on that part of the game. Because people were clearing hologram 6s on like level 50 single encores, you know? But you can't do that in Tower of Adversity. It is about your overall team and your builds and all of those things. And so what I like about TOA is being able to test that, to have that benchmark of like, okay, last time I did this, I had this many stars in TOA because I've not completed it. But this time I have this many. And so like this was the first time I've ever been able to get 2 stars on the final, like the 4th tower thing. And so like that was really cool. I'd never been able to do that before, but I know like that I've made progress with my builds because the last time I played was months ago. The TOA is harder. And so I really enjoy that aspect of it. And so I always will run that form of endgame in any gacha. Like I did that a lot in HSR with whatever, I don't remember what the kind of equivalent-ish thing is there. But yeah, I like that aspect. I like knowing that like I've put in the work, I've done my farming, and now I am stronger, you know? Where I think holograms are very much like technical. It's very much about your dodging and your parries and all of those things. And it's a little bit more of that kind of flashy part of Wuthering Waves' gameplay. And so you can get better at those technical aspects, I think, by running holograms for sure. But it's not going to teach you as much about, like Saint said, with the rotations and like building your characters and having them work together properly and stuff like that. So I like both. I'm not actually the hugest fan of holograms because they frustrate me, and some of them, if they have an attack that does not require a weapon.
Ring. What do you mean?
I know.
No. Listen to me. Something about some of the attacks of some of the characters where it's just like they just stomp on your head. Something about that
fallacy
crashes me the fuck out. It crashes me the fuck out.
I agree.
Just stomp on my fucking head. Like, use some magic. Do something cool. You're literally just stomping your foot and I'm dead. Like, it pisses me off so bad.
When Fally does his infinite hammer slams, it's like,
we were watching Kaz like absolutely freaking the fuck out, like molding so hard playing that.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad.
There's a lot of kits, right, that have things like built-in interruption resistance. You have healing. When's the last time you actually healed in a hologram fight?
I mean, if you use Arena or Shortkeeper, you heal. Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing, right? Yeah, it's like you'll maybe take some moves will just one-shot you, and so your healer is not actually doing anything in that situation. Fair?
But do you do that in TOA either?
Yeah, nothing in TOA one-shots you. Absolutely nothing.
Well,
I think.
But, I mean, you can make a point though. Wait, hold on. So you can make a point though that if you aren't healing, you have to, like you said, dodge forehead, right? Like maybe you're not utilizing your healer the way you would have in TOA, but it's just a different type of difficulty. Like they're both on two different spectrums of two different types of, like you said, team mechanics. And one, you're trying to get the shield down as fast as possible, and the other one is flashy as fuck. You have to parry, you have to dodge, whatever. Like I don't think that necessarily proves like an inherent flaw as one opposed to the other.
I'm not saying there's a flaw one or the other, but holograms by their design quite literally don't interact with like half, like not half, but like a fair number of mechanics in the game.
For sure. Yeah.
What's the point of Zhang Liao and Jian having interruption resistance during their liberation? If you get hit during them, you just fucking die.
Yeah,
like there's so many mechanics built into the game that literally don't work in holograms at all. While in the TOA, literally everything will work. It's a better decision gameplay wise to like tank hits on characters like Jian and Zhang Liao to literally tank hits instead of dodging and just like muscle through them to deal more damage. And there are mechanics in the game, right? Like damage reduction, all that stuff, the healing from your supports that interacts with that. And so I think TOA I personally like it because it forces you, or not forces you, but it encourages every single part of the game, while holograms kind of just throw a lot of stuff out the window.
Like, there's a lot of stuff in there I agree with, like exactly, depending on particular characters, you can't use them for the reason that you stated, Saint. I think on the whole, more generally speaking, I think holograms are more like a skill check, and Tower of Adversity just feels like more like a damage check a lot of the time. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a skill that you don't need skill in the TOA. You absolutely do, but I just think which is more. I think holograms require more skill than damage, whereas TOA requires more damage than skill. But they require both. They both require both, and it's like
I don't know if I'd agree that holograms need more skill.
I mean, comparatively,
I think it's different skills that you do.
Different skills.
I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't feel like it's one needs skill and one needs different. Like, doesn't need skill. It's more so like one thing needs skills that are more related to like technical, mechanical aspects of playing the game, which is dodging, parrying, blah blah blah, your timing. Where TOA is about the skill of knowing how to play your characters together with all of the mechanics in mind. I think
it's not
to
rotations.
say that one doesn't need skill is not really
accurate. I never said that. I said they both need both, just to varying degrees. Just so we're all clear.
Things like the TOA where you might be like 2-starring because you have like maybe 10 or 20 seconds left, right? Like 10 or 20 seconds until like a 3-star, and then you went over by that. You can literally make that up by simply rotating through your team better, using quick swap during your concerto build-up to like build it up on 2 characters at once. You can do things like just having a faster rotation on your DPS to get all their damage up and then move into the next rotation. There are quite literally like so many levers, and that's why I'm like I don't understand people not liking the time limit or thinking that the time limit's a bad thing. It simply encourages you to like optimize the gameplay of your characters if you're not reaching the required time. And it's sort of just like why is the time limit bad when it encourages things like dodging to build up concerto faster, parrying to build up concerto faster, and it's just you get rewarded by having faster rotation times or more damage for interacting with all the game's mechanics. And it's just like I literally have not really seen a counter argument for that when it comes to the time limit, because it's just all it does is encourage you to literally play better.
But I think a lot of what you're saying relies on the fact that people don't necessarily know that it could be something they could do. For example, some of the hidden text, let's say, like Gion's Qinglong cancel, or maybe like the double intro into him or something. That's not something inherently people will pick up on, like inherently. So that's something that they kind of have to be told, rather than something they'd figure out themselves while doing something like TOA.
And then, but that's the other thing, Cap, right? You could also just grind your relics or grind your echoes forever to get like boosted stats. And I've done TOA clears where you just fucking sit there, you actually don't dodge, and you just hold down the button on Gian and you'll clear it with enough echo investment.
Saying I would love to do that if I had enough echo experience to fucking do that.
Not again.
Not getting the conversation again, but no.
I guess you just won't clear until later, then, buddy.
But I think it comes down to personal preference, though. Like, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong or right answer. Some people want to have that Elden Ring sweaty style. They're gonna get fucking one shot and just bodied, and other people want to tighten and crisp their rotations. They want a Jinxie Chang Li hot swap. They want a Q-Long cancel, whatever it is. I don't think one is inherently more flawed than the other. I'm not necessarily saying you're saying that as well. I mean, what you're saying about TOA makes sense. I personally just think that it's just a lazy copy of Genshin. I think they could just do something more interactive and more better. Is it a horrible system? No, I think this new TOA does suck, though. It feels pretty shitty, especially for people who are going in or are not like you or me. Like, just because we can clear it with Yinlin Zhang Liao doesn't mean that the rest of the people can, right? But I don't think there's necessarily, like, a definitive answer here, and I feel like if we just harp on it, it's just like it comes down to what you want.
It is.
Like I don't think
they test different things and require different levels of investment.
Yeah, exactly.
On both sides to clear. Like I personally think holograms they're easier to get to.
What do you mean easier to get to?
And you can clear with like less investment on your characters with holograms for
more
sure.
Accessible.
I don't know. Is that true? I haven't tested like a level 70 Donjon against like a level 9 or what's up?
Well, because stats, right? That's why. And you need to tighten up rotations. It would be more gate kept, right?
Yeah. TOA is more gate kept around like your skill levels and echo investment, but it's also like the only thing in the game that does that. It is the only thing in the game that like really tests how well you've been building your characters. There's nothing else.
I don't know about that though, because
it's a good.
Yeah, you go right. I'll shut up. No, you go. I want to hear you.
It's a good thing that there's two modes, like what Hex was saying, and I agree with you, Ethan, too. Like, it's just different strokes for different folks. Like, it tests different things, right?
Yeah.
But I also think, because you brought up this too, it's just like, it's just a lazy copy of Genshin, and maybe they could do something more. I feel like that is a little unfair too, because it's where is the bar? Like, who sets it, right? It's like if they already have like a model to work off of it, I don't really think we could put a lot of blame on them for not innovating and creating something fresh and new.
Like straight out the bat, yeah. I get it.
Wait, no, I'm not. I'm not saying that they need to like come up with the most crazy innovative thing like right out the gate. I play fucking TOA every day. We do clears for people. I'm just saying though that like I know everyone wants to like find ways to fix it. I think you just fucking leave it alone. I think you leave it alone. I think Wuthering Waves is exceptional 100%. At creating original ideas, and eventually I think they'll just make something even better.
They're really good at making things immersive, like Elusive Realm. Just do that. Do more of that.
Yeah, but
Elusive Realm.
It's a Genshin Abyss tweak, and I think it's a smart marketing strategy because people who are endgame players and Genshin will be like, oh my god, they have something similar in WoW, but I just don't fucking, I just think it gets boring and it's annoying.
Personally, I always liked Abyss and Genshin until it stopped being hard. Like.
Yeah.
So okay, for me, like I was always probably gonna be a TOA enjoyer or whatever, and so like, could they add different things to it or innovate in some way? Sure. I think it'd be more useful for them just to make different new endgame modes that are BUAs that are not just similar to something that's already existed. But I personally like TOA, and I think it's maybe could be tweaked, but I enjoy it for that. I just
don't think we should tweak it. Just leave it.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of the most fun I've ever had was going on like a viewer's like garbage, shitty, dog shit account, and like 30 out of 30 on their account.
Well, of course, it's a great feeling
when I'm just like crit fishing, but it's also like okay, like now it's like. I know what to do, but it's like, how am I gonna fix this pile of shit and actually get it clearing stuff? And the thing is, it's obviously, if it's a knowledge check, if it's like a gear check, like a skill level check, I think it's cool. right? Like there's nothing else in the game that requires that much investment. And having your end game mode require end game levels of investment, like level 10 on a skill is like.
Wait, but why do you think holograms don't require investment? Because a level 70 dungeon with 7 talents is not clearing
like soloing it.
But that doesn't mean it's not investment though. They still invested to that character, right? Like
I think there were people with literally level 50 encore. Not fully leveled solo clearing.
Okay,
like it doesn't require the same level of investment. Period.
You're not gonna run in with like a level 1 character that deals like 19 damage a hit, right? But it's
like the time limit matters less in holograms. You just have to clear it in the time, whereas the time limit matters more in TOA because you have to do it within like more than 3 minutes remaining. Right?
I think we're talking in next circles now. We're just going over the same thing. We need to move on. Come on. I dabble in the end game. I don't really care 2 fucks about it. I'll be honest. Like so.
Nope.
Yeah. I just think they're two different things to compare. They're too hard to compare. Because they're two completely different things. No, hold on a second.
Come on.
Because, no, seriously, because the time limit in TOA, you need to clear it within above 3. And then obviously you use all the mechanics. In holograms, you have 4 minutes or however many minutes, you have to not die. So yeah, the time limits are different, but as we've stated previously, the fundamental cores of the game mode are different. So I think it's just very hard to compare and be like, you're definitely right. One requires more investment, but I don't think we could just sit there and be like, they're too different. I think to sit there and make like a 1-to-1 comparison, in my opinion.
Give me fucking multiplayer raids as endgame. Move on.
Okay, next conversation.
Anyway, wrapping everything up. We've been yapping for so fucking long. Holy shit. So really,
I was about to say, I need a tips then.
Who are you pulling for? Who put for a 2.1? That's it.
Oh, the fucking whale, bro.
Yeah, yes.
None of them.
None of them?
Both of them.
I am pulling
both. Continues.
Getting my girl Phoebe.
The rare species.
I'm getting Phoebe.
And Brown.
Phoebe. Ryuki,
the
who
rare
getting?
species male in the gacha game.
Zanny for fucking sure. Holy shit. Just obviously.
She's not in 2.1 though. Okay.
She's not. Okay, I might just EOS myself. No. I mean, I have 2 accounts.
Phoebe or Brent?
I have 2 accounts.
Not overreacting.
I have 2 accounts, so I'm getting one on one account and one on the other. That's how I do these things.
So this question doesn't apply to you. Okay.
Okay, Amethyst, who are you getting?
Out of the 2, probably Braun, but I don't really care.
Yes.
I'd rather wait till they go, Frolova's becoming playable, then I'll be like, fuck Braun. Fuck Braun.
Ethan, who are you getting?
I'm getting both. Like deadass. I'm getting both in their weapons. I'm away.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go back to my strategy of getting every character. So I'll
get
both probably.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I care more about Red because hypothetically of how he works with. But yeah, I'm getting both. I'm probably gonna get all of them.
Amazing, Kaz.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting none of them.
No.
I don't want to spend a shit ton of money on fucking characters. I like my money, so yeah, I'm just.
I like your money too.
Comes out and then spend all the money on that.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Oh, we don't think you're getting both. Okay. Awesome.
Why don't you let Saint speak for himself?
I know. You fucking idiot. Yeah, you
hard.
Oh my god.
He speaks way
to my friend.
I'm just saying, All
right. Awesome. Well, really, I think that's kind of it. To be honest, we basically spoke about fucking everything, literally everything. So it's been really fun. I appreciate y'all. How do you all feel? You all feel good? You feel nice?
Yeah, who's still streaming so I could raid? Sane Cap, are you guys still streaming?
I'm really about to end. I was about
I'm
to
going to
ask
end. I'm going to end after this.
I'm going to eat
I'm going to play Woo.
End of service.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, we're raiding
Cap.
Cap.
Our target.
All right, I guess we're all
I
just
appreciate y'all.
Cap,
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Cap, thank you for getting us
for
together.
having me.
Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for fun.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Hex, for joining.
Good night, y'all.
See ya later. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Stinkies.
Bye.
07.
All right. So that was interesting. That was a conversation. There were a few things I wanted to talk about in there that we didn't get to, but for the most part, I thought it was good. Yes, leave stream. Okay, I'm gonna cancel that. Were there a few things in there that you guys wanted to talk about, or what you wanted to answer? Because I'm also going to leave in a moment. The reason why is because I'm currently working on my what does Japan think about Wuthering Waves in general, and also Reinseater 2.0. Like the things they like the things they don't like, the things they want changed, etc., etc. So, I should have that video out within the next 24 hours. So I'm literally going to be working on that the entire day. So, yeah, that's why I can't stay on for too long, because I need to do that. I want to get a video out for you guys as quickly as possible. So yeah, were there a few things that you guys wanted me to answer first? One thing I did want to say that we already passed it. If we can't add the flight to Huanglong Jinzhou to make it the exploration a little bit more fun, then they could just like add those like the elusive realm kitty paws type things, the speed rush thing. Just add a bunch of them like all across the world. Add more like zip points like in the air to like go from place to place to place. The Lumipaws, yeah, exactly. If they could include those as well, more zipline, grapple areas, and more Lumipaws, that would make it at least a little bit easier. I think that could be at least a way to mitigate it without including flight in there. But yeah, that was the only thing I really wanted to say, but we didn't really get around to it. One thing about the character survey, it was kind of random. It was kind of random, but I mean, from what I got from the character survey is that they are asking for more ideas. They wanted to get a feel of what players want from characters in the future. And again, if they're doing that like every now and then to basically give us characters that we want to play for, like they're gonna implement characters like Crimson Weave, for example. They've already done it for Vera. They're doing the same thing for like Watanabe, basically Watanabe type characters. Probably going to have like a version of Bianca in there. So we already know we're going to get those types of characters. So I thought it was a good way for them to like gauge what other types of characters that they might not have thought about yet. And also not just characters, but also weapon types as well, and what kind of personalities. And I think that'd be pretty interesting. So I did like the survey. Now it's just a matter of like, are they going to listen? And I would actually like to know. I would actually like to know the results of that survey. If they could like publish, make public the results of that survey, like 70% of players responded that they want more females or more males, or they wanted more of this type of. If they publish that result, it would be absolutely incredible. Phoenix, okay, hi, welcome in, guys. Yeah, so what do you think about Tower of Diversity now? Still don't like it. I just described Ganyu. I described Dr. Ratio, I'll be honest. Yeah. So, yeah, infographics on the results, because it's mainly numerical. It's more like quantitative, not qualitative data that they were collecting. So if I could see that information, I would love that. Yeah. Different traversal options with each large region. Yeah, I think if they've done Sky with Rinasita. For the next area. So we've got ground with Huanglong, we've got sky with Rinasita, traversal methods which would leave open underwater for the next area, I think, possibly. So I would expect something along those lines. I've got hiccups right now, Jesus Christ, in the future. I wonder if it would be more women, because from what I've seen, a lot of mainly male character pullers have left the game already. I mean, again, yeah, the data would be skewed because they have a lot of other players that were playing in the beginning have left because it's already been so heavily skewed to one side. But yeah, I think they could claw some of those characters back with the release of Brant as well. I know a lot of people did want to come back because of Brant. So if they release more characters like Brant, like more really well-designed male characters, I think they can get those characters back. I think they can get those players back. I don't think they're a lost cause. Is it necessarily bad to skew to one side? No, I'm saying like in terms of the reliability of the data, it does skew the data. It does skew the results, and that's not a good thing. Unless you're talking about skew to one side about the male to female ratio, and is it bad? I don't know. It depends. Like in Love and Deep Space, for example, it's heavily skewed to the males because that's what the game was supposed to be. The thing is, though, like as I mentioned in my video, the ratio of males to female in Wuthering Waves at launch was what was the ratio? Was not nearly as bad as what it currently is. And to give you a bit of a sneak peek on what I'm going to be releasing later in my video today, on what Japanese players did want. I saw a shit ton of Japanese players that they were saying that they want more male characters and they want more 4 stars. More often than not, the vast majority of people that said in their things that they want changed in Wuthering Waves, they said that they want more male characters. This is Japan, by the way. Right? So this whole fucking myth that Asia, Japan doesn't like male characters, that's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. It is. I'm literally working on a spreadsheet right now. I'm tabulating the types of things that they were saying that they want. Like, I'm going to count how many times these particular things were all mentioned, and you're going to get that data on later tonight when I get the video out. That's why I'm going to be working on this video literally all day. That's why I can't stay on stream for too long. So I just want to answer a few questions, and I need to jump off. I think that's Chinese, right? Yeah. I think China has given way too much fucking credit. Like, they do not hold these games up. Well, not Wuthering Waves anyway. They do not hold Wuthering Waves up at all. Look at the numbers. China's fucking practically useless. Really. Like, player to how much the player spends, it's mainly Japan and South Korea right now. Japan and South Korea. China, fucking irrelevant. And also, from what I've seen, everything that CN is always complaining that they want in the game has literally made the game worse. They need to ignore China. I said it before, I'll say it again. Fuck China. I'm just speaking very generally right now. They don't know what they're talking about. Everything that they implement from CN's perspective to quote unquote make the game better literally makes the game worse. They need to focus on EN, Japan, and South Korea. These are the 3 biggest demographics. These demographics are what's going to bring this game better. These are going to give the better feedback. CN, not it. Not it. That sounds pretty racist against Chinese. No. I mean, I don't know if you're joking right now, Falolo. But, like, if you are being serious, it's not. Because I'm literally just talking about what CN has been complaining about the entire time. Like, you was joking? Wait, I was? It's a prejudice, not discrimination. No. I'm speaking specifically about what CN has said that they want from the game. Everything I've said, literally, everything that oh, you're joking. Cool. Everything that I've heard that CN has said that they want from the game will literally make the game worse. Yeah, exactly. When I say fuck China, I mean like fuck Chinese feedback. Because their feedback is bullshit. An example of what CN complained about? Well, they complained about basically everything from the CBT1 as well, but they also, they for the most part, they love the power fantasy, everything given to us on a silver platter. They like it when every character loves us from the fucking get-go. These are the kinds of things that they want. And to prove my point, if you actually read a lot of Chinese manhua, the Chinese version of manga, like long strip sites, I swear to God, it is the most brain rot, cringe, bullshit I have ever read in my entire life. I still read it because sometimes I like that. But like, that's literally the majority of what they fucking get. Now, manhua with a W in there, that's Korean. I mean, manhua, M-A-N-H-U-A. Bit of a difference. But no, seriously. So that's my experience of the things that gets popular over in China. And if that's what they like, I'm sorry, they need to grow the fuck up. Excluding Hong Kong, I don't know. I'm just speaking like China in general here. I'm just speaking China in general. Yeah. It doesn't sound interesting exactly. I mean, manhua is Ukraine. But yeah, that's just my opinion from my experience of what CN likes and what they want from their IP, from their comics, manga, manhwa, whatever you want to call it, and also from their games. I don't know, guys. I think you need to grow the fuck up. I'm just being honest. They do. Japan has its own issues. Gacha games yeah, Japan definitely does have its own issues, but I think their issues are a lot more. Again, this is my bias here. Not as bad. And I have noticed that Japan did go through its own cringy phase in the Heisei era. where they did have a lot of isekai, self-insert, bland, OP protagonists, and they still get them every now and then as well. They do, they absolutely do. But in this new Reiwa era, if you're like really deep in the manga scene of things, there has been a massive shift in the storytelling and also the character development and also the characterizations of the main characters in these stories. Yeah. So there's a massive difference, there's a massive shift. Japan does not like the shit that CNA is asking for. It's cringe. It's fucking cringe. You reading a good one though? Which one are you reading? I'm talking about like a Chinese manhwa, like right now. What's the current era? The current era right now is called the Reiwa. Reiwa, the Reiwa era. The Reiwa era. Reiwa. But yeah. It's like an isekai, but it's popcorn story, all fluff, no filler. Exactly. It's just all fluff to make you feel good. You need to turn your brain off. It's literally brain rot. Literally brain rot. As a Chinese, you're right. I mean, we have at least one Chinese in there. And again, I'm not saying this as a way of saying, oh, I'm above it, because I read this stuff as well. One second, I'll try and bring one out. I read one that's just pure fucking brain rot, and I enjoy it, but at least I know that it's brain rot. I know that this series will not get popular, because it's fucking, yeah. But like, I'm not saying I'm above it. I'm not. Absolutely not. No. Okay, one here, and these are two. I'm reading a few more, but these are just the first ones that that pop up in my recently updated feed. 1 second. One there. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? No, not that one. I'm reading a lot of manga right now. Manga, manhwa. I'm reading a lot, so it's hard to find. Where's opening boxes? It's a weird title as well. Got it. Right. I'm going to show you guys. Right. So I'm reading this one right now. I've got a few chapters to catch up on. Rebirth in the End Times. I reached the top by opening boxes. Lovely title. Not any better than a lot of Japanese titles, just so we're all clear. And also, wait, no, that's. Oh, where's the other one? Where's the other one? Not this one. Fuck. Where's my updates? Matosei no Slave. But yeah. This one is fucking cringe. I still read it. I still think it's funny, but it's not anything good, like, at all. I've got a line here. What am I reading? This is all the manga that I'm following right now. I wish you could like cycle and filter by region that it was published. Another one is also very, very cringe. Like, it's another like a regressor type manga thing. Where is it? Has it not been updated in a while? Where is it? Oh yeah. Iruma enjoy it? Fuck yeah, I love Iruma. We're all Iruma-sexuals, you know? We're all Iruma-sexuals, just so we're all absolutely fucking clear. I mean, you see there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm like, I'm not above it. I'm just like following it, because like, what the fuck? This one, okay, I don't think this is, I think this is like in Chinese language. I don't know if this is from China. Demon X Angel, this is a great manga. I love this one. I recommend this one. This is very good. And the thing is though, it's more like a Japanese manga than anything else. Where is it? Has it not been updated in a while? Where? No. Wait, no. Where's the China one? Where's the Chinese one? Where's the other one? It's been a while. Masterpiece. Yeah, I agree. But Korean here, what the fuck? Damidol, that's mine. Has it been taken down? I don't think it's been taken down. Frame, what the fuck? That's there again. I can't find the other one. The other one's just as bad, if not worse. Like, it's pure power fantasy. Why is it always that when you're trying to find something, you can never find it, but when you're not looking for it, it's like right in front of your face? No, again, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the other one. Where's the other Chinese one? This was maybe meant to be, that's Korean, but yeah. So annoying. Korean manhwa has been doing really well. Come on, God, fuck, damn it. Jesus Christ. Where is it? Has it been taken down? I should not be going this far back. Maybe meant to be. Great series. Great series. It was on a hiatus for so long. Like, why the fuck is it on a hiatus? Great series. Where is it? It should not take this long to get back. I've not been following this in random chat. I've not been following that for a long, long time. So, God damn it. Jesus Christ. Alright, if you want to read a satire, this is fucking hilarious. This series right here is fucking hilarious. It's degenerate as fuck, but it's fucking hilarious. Right. Jesus Christ. Why is Rent a Girlfriend still on there? I should have fucking stopped following that a while ago. Where is it? It might be taken down. No way. Did it? Was it? Right. You have to believe me, there was another Chinese manhwa on here that I was reading, but it was like really fucking, like just bad. Bad. I'm just reading Viewpoint. It was good in the beginning. It started getting like, I'm losing interest now, I'll be honest. I'm losing interest in omniscient reader's viewpoint. It's like, fuck's sake. Like, alright. Just pull another fucking like load of bullshit out your ass if you want to. Great, cool. Great. I know omniscient readers in the chat as well. I'm just saying, it was great in the beginning for a long time, but just recently, for the past, say, 50 chapters or so, I'm like, I'm just not interested. It's like, alright. You know? I still want to find this because it's going to piss me the fuck off. Again, you know when you're trying to find something but you can't find it and I can't move on until I find it? I'm like, I guarantee that once I end stream, I'm going to fucking find it. Because it's just the way things are. It's just the way things are. And I hate it. I'm going like 2 months back now. It should not take 2 months. It's been updated since then. Do you think Berserk is overrated? The art is amazing. The story, a lot of it relies on shock value. Which was good at the time. Which was really good at the time. But yeah. Just like Lego? Yeah. I think they've taken it down because I should not go back this far. I should have seen it way before all this. But yeah. You can't find a One Piece when you want it, but when you're not looking for it, you step on it. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I struggle to understand the world building and the lore about things in Wuthering Waves. What do you think about the world building? I don't have an issue with it, although I do know a lot of people do have that issue. So that's what I've been saying to Amethyst Abrams, because he's got the voice thing. I want him to focus strictly on lore and story, and like putting things, like tying things together, and like basically telling a story, like doing like audiobook type or short audiobook, like videos, just telling the story and the world building of Wuthering Waves in his voice. And I think a lot of people would like that. Yeah, so I'm just going to give up because this is pissing me the fuck off now. Basically, this other one that was following, it's like they regressed into the past, and it was kind of like a zombie apocalypse type thing. And then he got this one waifu, which was like she was a cook, but she's also a pharmacist or something. And then he gets this other waifu, which was like she was like the side piece of one of the bad guys, but he like managed to win her over because he's such a fucking giga chad and that sort of thing. And then he finds another waifu that was like just basically covered in, like wrapped in bandages, just barely covering anything, and then she's able to like size herself up to like fucking 200 meters tall or something like that. I don't know what it was, but yeah. Anyway, whatever. It was good. It was a good conversation. So, yeah. Are there any other questions before we need to leave, before we need to wrap up? What famous JP gacha are there, aside from Fate Grand Order? I mean, to be honest, a lot of the gacha nowadays from Japan can be falling off. A lot of JP have been complaining about this as well, about how JP is falling off, and a lot of they're being overtaken by China. So, who am I pulling next? I'm pulling both. I'm pulling Rochia on my main account because that's the account I have Camellia on. I'm pulling Phoebe on my other account because I need to get one copy of the character and the weapon on both accounts. So yeah, right, yeah. Kage no Jitsu Rokuji no Natakute, best isekai for me. I haven't followed it in a while. The reason why is because I cannot get past how fucking dense the main character is. Like, you're literally blowing shits up with the strength of a nuclear bomb, and you think everyone's just playing into your fantasy of you being an OP person, like about the whole order and the thing he has. I'm wondering if there's something in the story like later on where it's like he's got a mental block, like something around the world, like maybe a god is like mentally like making him unable to realize that his fantasy is reality. And because I've not seen anything like that so far, I'm just like, this guy is just a fucking moron. I get it's a parody. I get it's a parody, but yeah. Am I farming on both accounts? Yeah, I am farming on both accounts. When's the next stream, Sensei? I have you on while driving right now. Not today. Maybe on Tuesday my time. On Tuesday my time, I think. Yes, exactly. That is what it is. That is what it was. That is exactly what it was. 1 second. No, it's been taken off. Doomsday Ruthless Man. Wait, no. Here it is. No, found it. Why? Oh, the last update was 3 months ago. That's probably why then. All right. Okay. So, I'm going to show you. That is exactly what it is. You're a manhwa addict? Ah, love it. I mean, I'm not above it. Like, at all. Yeah, this is the other one. And this is like, yeah. It's like all the bad guys are ugly as fuck. Clearly, obviously. And then, OP is just another version of fucking Young Jung-hyuk from Solo Leveling. Like, literally, just basically looks exactly the same. Where's all the girls? I need to show you the girls, because of course they've got to show girls in here somewhere in like some precarious situations. Like some tentacles and some vines. Like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, yep. She's not even the worst one either, quote unquote. I think like 3 chapters before. Go away. I think 3 or 4 chapters before. I think it's around this chapter. There was a whole thing. Rope. Again, she's just like massive. And she's just covered literally by bandages. This is another waifu, of course. Just hot as fuck, just hanging around in lingerie for the entire time. Like, yep, sex at the same time. Yep. And this is basically what what Chinese manhwa is like. You know? So well, that's my experience anyway. That's my experience with Chinese series. I've had one which is good, which is Demon X Angel. Oh wait, no! Another one I really did like, and it was a female character who was the main character. It was Scream Queen. Scream Queen was great. Scream Queen was fucking incredible. This series here is also really good. No, I stand corrected. This series as well is really good. They haven't had an update on here for 4 years because it has an official publisher right now, and the people that were doing it, they've gone on to do it officially now. This series is also really fun. Again, I haven't really read it. I think I've read it to like chapter 50 something, 60 something. This is also really good. Yeah. But this is mainly focused not on the male characters, not on the male readers. It's a female character, and she's fucking amazing. This is great. No, it's a massive parody. It's a huge parody. It's a huge parody of like the horror things, but then it also parodies a lot of the typical death game, and then also system types. This is a good series. No, to be fair, this is a good series. And she's such a fucking badass. I'm not even kidding. But yeah. So this is a Twitch chat over here, and let's get a YouTube chat over here as well. Yeah. Like the world has ended type. Kind of. No, she goes into like certain areas, but the world itself hasn't ended. Well, it hadn't ended by the time I stopped following, because you have to go to a certain like Chinese site to read it. I'm like, I cannot be bothered to do that. Necromancer betrayed by his party. That's a Japanese one, right? Reincarnated as a lich. Where's the lich? Where's the lich? This one? No. No, I don't know. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. This one. I think you might be talking about this one. I think you might be talking about this one here. Have I played Path to Nowhere? Yeah, of course. I play Path to Nowhere like every day. I love Path to Nowhere. It's amazing. I think the manga you're talking about here, I think it's this one here. It's a manhwa? All right. But yeah, he becomes a lich. Anyway. Yeah. So before I head off, anything else you guys want to ask? Is Path to Nowhere still good? I think it's good. I still enjoy it. I'll be honest. I used to be a boss. No, I haven't read that one. I do know the one you're talking about. I haven't read it. That was like before I started getting into manhwa. I could talk about manhwa, manga for like hours, guys. I mean, maybe I should just do a stream where I just talk about nothing but manga for like hours and hours and hours. Like, oh, I'm reading this, I'm reading that, I like this, I don't like that. And yeah. Do I play Girls Frontline, Girls Frontline 2? No, not yet. I'm waiting for my new CPU to arrive so I can build my new system. Then I'm going to install Girls Frontline 2. Trash Accounts Family. I have read that. I stopped reading it about 30 chapters after the dragon comes in. I was just like, okay, cool. Well, yeah. So, search Okairi Papa. I will have to read that up. I will check it out. All right, guys. So, I think it's time for me to bounce, you know? Because I need to work on this video. Like, what does Japan think about Wuthering Waves 2.0? Right? Because I get you all want it, right? You all want to see that video? Yeah? So I need to go and do that. I like literally need to go and do that. So I'm going to send you off to Captain Cabinets. And so go and bully her for me. Bully her. Absolutely rip into her. All right? Bully the fuck out of her. And I'll see y'all later. Well, YouTube chat can't do that, but Twitch chat definitely can. No, because it was a good time. Good time. Again, good to see you all. And I'll see you all later, yeah? Okay, take care. Bye. Peace.
My bad. Whoopsie. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
Captain Bridget of the support force reporting in.
Holy mega milk jugs! Holy mega milk jugs! Oh my god! Hi Ryukyu! Hi! Thank you for the raid!